Wrestling, the show that brings 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, with occasional guest appearances from Galahad and Freya. But hi, welcome to the new season. This is the start of season 3. It's awesome. And FYI, some things have changed around for season 3. A couple shows have moved to different areas and locations. So you're going to want to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our new season 3 schedule. And you might want to check out the schedule for an in-depth look of the runs that we have this week. Also remember, !hotfix in chat will give you that information as well. All right, so let's talk about this episode. So when I started getting into online gaming, I actually got into it via first-person shooters, or just shooters in general, with a little side note of RPGs, thus the Killzone shirt. But you know what? Don't have Killzone today, but I have 4 absolutely amazing shooter, projectile weapon, RPG, kind of a combination of all those runs that are just really cool, and I absolutely love them. So looking at the schedule, we have Horizon Forbidden West, we have Children of the Sun, we have Helldivers 2, and to start off, we have a 6-man raid of Salvation's Edge from Destiny 2. So I'm going to hand it over to one of our commentators, Dado, and let's introduce this run. So Dado, take it away.
Gamers, Zoomers, probably most use Zoomers in the chat because that's what the Destiny speedrun community is. I'm Dado, you know who I am. And with me commentating, Zemo, joining us here on the color commentary. Zemo.
Hello, I'm Zemo. I'm a speedrunner that particularly dabbles in Destiny 2, and I was on GDQ for some solo dungeons earlier this year with Dado as my caster and Aegis, the person running today, as the co-caster. Decided to do him a favor and come back as his caster.
Yeah, and if you don't happen to know who I am, I have been covering this game longer than you have been alive. So we are here today, and I'm back today. This is my 3rd, 4th commentary on a Destiny raid. Today we're doing Salvation's Edge. A lot more platforming than your average raid. You're going to see a good amount of platforming here, a lot of running through different sections of the map. You're also going to see people not even participating in the fight at all because they just want to get to the next section so that they can pull people forward to that next fight. But I think we're all ready. We'll explain that kind of on the way here. You're going to see that coming up within basically the first minute is all platforming, all fast movement. Maybe Zemo, you can give a quick tutorial on shatter skating as they're going to be doing right here. But if the gamers are ready, I'm going to give you a countdown and we go.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right, so the run pretty much just starts off with a lot of platforming using the Eager Edge perk on swords, which kind of lets you propel yourself really fast. If you animation cancel a specific dive while using your heavy attack with Eager Edge, you can kind of just shoot yourself really far, and that's kind of what all of them are doing. You can see they're already cooking. Going in a straight line, everything looks very single file.
Yeah, normally you'd only have one person doing this, but for this particular raid, you kind of need everybody to do it because there's what's called a friendship door that will not open until everyone in the team is there. So this is one of those rare moments where everyone's got to be on their movement game. Everyone's got to hit this. Fortunately, if you mess up, I mean, you're literally right at the very beginning, so it's not a big deal if you mess it up. We're going into the first encounter right now, which is going to show the core mechanic in Salvation's Edge, which appears in the first 3 encounters, which is a plate ping pong mechanic, where essentially there are 2 plates in separate rooms, and you send a charge to one of them. You must step on the plate while that charge is active on the plate, which will send it back to another plate, and a different person or the same person really, can step on that other plate, and you ping pong this back and forth to generate some charges that people need to pick up in order to restore some time on the clock. That's normally how you need to do it, but these guys can do this encounter so fast that they need to do 3 full cycles of this. But they're not going to need to actually deposit anything because they go so fast that they can beat the encounter before the timer ends and kills everybody in the raid. That's the timer at the top of the screen there.
So you can see on the top right, Ashex is already like out of the map, away from the entire fire team. And what Ashex is doing is essentially going all the way to the third encounter, while the main fire team is just kind of progressing. One. Yeah,
they're like,
so later on, later on, Aegis is going to end up leaving and then coming back to bring everybody to the second encounter.
Yeah, he's going to leave, what, I think at the very beginning of the third cycle. Yeah, he switches to a different character completely, loads into the raid, and then makes their way to the second encounter, while Ash is going to the third encounter, essentially. They're going that far ahead because, again, there is that much platforming in this place. Like, platforming this normally takes a few minutes, right? They're doing this raid in 15, 20 minutes. A casual run of this raid with, like, no mess-ups normally takes, like, an hour. And the platforming stuff is a good chunk of the experience. Again, much more than most other Destiny raids. So they're getting through. I think they're probably on the second cycle right about now, because I haven't seen a character swap just yet. As soon as there's a character swap here, that means they're gonna be on their third cycle. Yeah, you can just do this encounter fast enough. You only get 4 minutes and 15 seconds normally on the clock. And those charges that I was talking about earlier with the ping pong mechanic, you take those and you put them into a box, and every charge you put in gets you a bunch of time back on the clock. So that's how you're supposed to keep yourself alive. But again, they're going so fast because they know this encounter so intimately and they know all the ins and outs that they can just do 3 cycles of the encounter before time runs out at all. So they're on their third cycle now as we have the character swap coming in. They're joining the raid, and they're just going to go on their way to the second encounter because, the game tries to pull people together when you're fighting so that you're all fighting together. But if you manipulate it in a certain way, you can kind of get outside the bounds of the hands of destiny, and you can stay out of bounds during certain encounters, like you're seeing right now in the top right.
So what Aegis is actually doing is kind of they're joining in on Ashex, who's in the second encounter loading zone. And so the way that joining works in this game is you'll always spawn in on the fire team leader's load zone. So Aegis is going to spawn in that second encounter load zone to bring everyone there. And then once Aegis spawns in, Ashex is going to get ready to move on to the third encounter. And then they're going to go and 5-man that second encounter.
Now, I know in previous raids, like, you had to be a certain class to do things like Wolf for Titan skating and whatnot. And I noticed Ashex is a hunter from the looks of it. So what, like, is the setup for those that might not realize what the different classes are that are watching this?
So Hunter is mainly for the shatter skating.
First encounter done, by the way.
Yeah, first encounter's already finished. Aegis is already moving over to second encounter. A lot of rocket jumping. Really sick. Hunter's mainly for the shatter skating stuff, where you're kind of just canceling your dive, getting that big boost of momentum. Titan is really big for like damage, which you're gonna see Aegis do a really wonky looking damage rotation for this next boss. And I don't believe there are any warlocks in this run. I think this is all a hunter run besides the one Titan here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hunters have just like really, really high damage output right now, thanks to like a certain weapon and exotic combination right now. So they have really good movement with the shatter skating, and they just have really, really high damage to be able to like one cycle the Witness, particularly, who's the final boss. But yeah, right now they're doing. I feel like they do the second encounter like kind of normally, but just really, really ridiculously fast. And they only have 5 people on the top here,
right. Yeah, you can already see they're off. Go.
Yeah, so that platforming section is the section between the second and third encounter. I think this is probably like the longest platforming section in the entire place. It's pretty lengthy, but on Shatter Skating Hunter, they can go so fast through all of this because they just carry so much speed, so much momentum that they don't even really need to like worry about a lot of the individual platforming. They could just zip right past it. Meanwhile, the second encounter is kind of like the first encounter. It's more that ping pong plate mechanic, except it's split into 3 different zones, where essentially 2 people are on the left, 2 people in the middle, 2 people on the right. It looks like they're wiping. I'm not sure exactly why. I didn't catch it. They could have potentially messed up a specific mechanic here, but that's okay. This is a showcase after all. This would absolutely be a reset if they were doing an actual run. I'm not 100% sure what went wrong there. I was looking at a different part of the screen. So they are just going to restart here. But yeah, essentially you have 2, 2, and 2. But one of the sides, I think, can be done by one person. I think really all of them can be done by one person, maybe except for left. Yeah, so you can ping pong the plate to yourself. If it doesn't really matter who is touching that plate on the other side, it just needs to be hit by somebody. So you can ping pong back and forth. And again, it's spawning the charges, so you can refill your timer. But again, they are moving so fast, they don't need any of these charges. They can just instantly activate the things that they need to activate. They don't have to worry about stacking a bunch of charges on people in order to restore their timer. They're going to be one cycling this, so they're going to be getting it done really, really fast anyway. They just do not need to even care about participating in that part of the fight. They just want to get to the damage phase as soon as possible.
That inventory menu was wow. On Ash's side, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of menuing in the game now, thanks to loadouts, which were introduced about a year and a half ago, which gives you the ability to instantly swap quite a large amount of items on your character. Subclass, abilities, weapons, armor mods, and that's a lot of what they're doing. They have a bunch of preset things that they need to swap to during the run. Certain weapons are better for certain situations, and so they're just swapping back and forth, usually like pretty meticulously planned too, because you need to make sure like certain ammo using weapons are in certain slots so that you don't lose your ammo for those particular weapons. So there's a lot of things that might not seem that important when it comes to like, oh, I'll just put this weapon here. What's the big deal? Well, if they don't use the right type of ammo, then you might lose all your ammo as a result.
Gotcha.
So you can see top right, Ashex is about to perform a rocket grapple, where they literally just shoot a rocket and then grapple onto it, sending them really, really high up, so they can kind of mimic that same skip that they did earlier, just in case that something like what just happened, like a wipe occurs. You can see the team that's damaging top left Aegis, he's just going to town with the 1-2 punch melting. Grapple.
Yeah, a lot of swords being used, a lot of a sword with, I think they're using the Wolfpack rounds, Ergo Sum, that essentially gives your sword swipes extra damage for simplicity's sake. And yeah, that is the second boss down, like in basically no time at all. Some more character swapping happening so that they can all join on the person who is that much farther forward, so they don't have to do all this platforming themselves. And this is, I'd say, oh, it looks like they had to, did they have to start over?
Yeah, they had something go wrong with the rocky grapple, but now they're going back.
That's what I saw. So this is, I think it's towards the beginning. Yeah, they're trying to hit that angle to send themselves flying up. Get on that ledge there. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so again, the whole shatter skating thing, I mean, you can see the ridiculous speed, but then you can just slow yourself down just with like a little sword swipe there, so you still have a lot of control over where you're going. You can send yourself flying into a wall. Bungie changed it, so if you send yourself with such speed into a wall, it doesn't kill you anymore, because it used to kill you straight up. So now you can just fling yourself into a corner, and the game's like, well, you're not dead, so we're just going to send you straight into the air. I think we lost.
Yeah, I think we
lose Ash.
I think we lost that stream.
They're showing us offline. And that was their ticket. That was their ticket forward to get to the next encounter. I think they might have froze or their internet crashed or something. That's not great.
Going a little too fast.
Otherwise they have to
wait.
Oh, they're back.
Wait.
Chat,
Okay,
give your
they're
energy.
Okay, maybe just something wrong with their stream. I don't know, but they are still flying through. They're about, I would say,
They're
80 to
right
90% of the way there. Yeah, they just got to go up this lift.
Just this lift, and then the door's right there, and everyone's gonna come flying back in.
Yeah. So real quick, the third encounter is kind of a gimme. It's very similar. Uses the same plate mechanic. Everyone's got to deposit. You know, keep yourself alive with all the charges and picking those up. You got to lock your totems. That's kind of what you do with the ping pong stuff. Is in order to stop the ping ponging, you need to shoot the totem with the correct buff. I'm not going to get into the details of it because we literally don't have that time. But you need the correct buff to lock the totem, and then the totem goes hooray, and then you move on. So they're gonna do this fight like pretty normally, but I'll let you explain the one cool piece of movement tech that they're gonna use in between each section of the fight.
Oh yeah, it looks really, really cool. The main gate in this encounter is just the big like tormentor dudes with the huge shoulders that they just gotta kill to kind of progress each room.
I think they're still joining right now. There we go. They're flying in.
Yeah, they all use Izanagi's huge, like super big sniper. Just one shots them.
If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with the Izanagi, it's a special sniper that you can load 4 bullets into to get a big extra chunk of damage on your shot. The only problem is that if you miss that shot, well, you just wasted 4 bullets, and you don't really have that many bullets for this weapon. So hitting those shots is very, very crucial. Yeah, killing these big guys, these tormentors, is what triggers the next part of the fight, so that you can actually start doing more of the ping pong stuff and collecting all the charges and all that. But again, they don't even need to collect the charges, really. I mean, even just like putting 1 to the chest to say like, okay, we're good, this is all we're going to deposit, even that's going to give them 20 seconds. Only 20 seconds has gone by, and they're about to deposit a charge into this. So that's how fast they're going with this particular fight.
Oh, they just got a soft lock because the towers were hit too quickly.
Oh,
so they
were talking about that so much. So, I mean, you want to explain the soft lock? What happens there?
So when you make the towers go hooray too quickly, the box in the middle where you need to dunk all the resonance that you're collecting just doesn't work. So they have to reset.
Yeah, normally, I mean, usually teams are not that perfect where, you know, like, oh, the one on the left is locked in, and then somebody else, like, all right, I'm done with the one on the right, I'll lock that one in. So if you're too good, if you're too perfect, the game does not like that for some reason. I think it might have to do with like all of them locking at once, but it's like they're too quick, so it only registers like one of them getting locked in. Like maybe there's some kind of cooldown on the game actually understanding like, oh, individual lock. I'm not sure. I'm really just talking out of my butt right now to fill time. But it sounds plausible, so like bet.
I mean, chat, you would totally believe everything that just happened. 100%.
I really like watching the tormentors just get insta-killed. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Couple shoulder shots and then just like a golden gun to the chest.
Yeah, it just disappears.
I think they soft locked again.
It's a really unlucky encounter.
So what does this teach everybody, friends? Don't be this
just
perfect.
Be worse. Yeah. Be worse. It's not that deep.
That will be on the test. Just be worse.
Just wait a second, would you? Yeah, unfortunate, but again, it's just a showcase.
Oh yeah.
Of the raid. They would have reset this probably about 10 minutes ago by now. I'm just waiting for them to get to the cool like movement part that through like because you have 3 different sections of this encounter. This is the first section, and then there's like a little platforming section, nothing too crazy, and then you're in a different section with like slightly different rules. But still mostly the same. It's just like the path of the plate charges go to different areas. And then the third section's also just like a little more windy with the you can kind of see like the orangey yellow light paths on the ground. They crisscross in the future rooms. Oh, crazy. Otherwise, it's essentially the same thing.
Oh, you can see it. It's about to happen right now. So one of them is about to get on this platform right here, and they're going to do this sword movement using this uppercut. and then everybody else in the fire team is just going to grapple onto him. Oh, look at that. Look at him go.
That is clean.
And they're just going with so much speed, because usually if you catch up to the thing that you're grappling, it stops your grapple, right? Because you've reached your destination. But they're going so fast that they never actually catch up. So they can continue to just grapple onto this person and fly all the way through.
It's legit amazing just how much movement, like just how much movement was added with just the strand, like it, and the grapple still blows
Oh,
my
it's so
mind.
yeah. Yeah, I know grapple has been very, very well liked by the community, and it also. Oh, did they soft lock again?
Not another.
They know it's a showcase, right? They don't have to be perfect now. Of all the encounters, I was not expecting this one to slow them up.
Yeah, it's a
that
shame
much.
because like usually in a normal clear of this raid, it's so easy to just like kind of get through this room, but in a speed run, it's just so there's so many like points. There's already 3 points where that soft lock can happen. Like
Yeah.
I'm scared that we're gonna see a third room soft lock at the very end of the encounter.
Oh my god. Yeah, in a casual run of this place, in a normal run of this place, this is like probably by far like the easiest encounter. Maybe first encounter you could say is the easiest, but this is a very close second, if it is not the easiest, just because it's the most. It's just literally the ping pong plate mechanic 3 different times, and that's about it. It's all right. All right, here we go. 1 for 1. Let's get to the next room here.
You get to at least see the
executed.
movement again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool every time.
What probably happened is they, like, all of them just adjusted the exact amount to make sure they didn't soft lock and ended up soft locking in the process. At least that's what my headcanon is telling me right now.
Yeah, they just gotta do a little 1, 2, 3, you know? Left, mid, right. Sometimes you gotta go a little marathon safe, you know? Mm-hmm. We're not going for a world record right now. All right, let's see if they get locked again. Let's see that box. 1, 2, 3. I saw all those. You can see in the bottom left all those messages popping up one by one by one.
There we go.
That's what we want to see right now, just so we can get through the encounter. That's kind of what you're looking for in terms of that pacing, so that you don't get soft locked. And we're gonna do that movement one more time. Making sure we kill the champion real quick. Got to stun that champion with a special kind of a shot from a particular weapon or a particular ability type. That will stun the champion, make them much more vulnerable to damage, and killing that champion is kind of what triggers the next part of the fight.
Oh, dude, the spin
start.
uppercut is so sick. It just looks so clean moving through this area.
Keeping the momentum on their double jump as they land to keep a little more forward momentum to keep people going. So nice.
So in this room here, there's gonna be 3 people that they're gonna already like start skipping towards the 4th encounter, and that 4th encounter is a doozy in terms of strats.
The 4th encounter, to actually explain it to someone doing it normally, in my guide, took 20 minutes to like actually explain it. They're gonna do the whole encounter in like 3 minutes. So like, I'm not even gonna try to explain the full encounter. It has to do like a lot of like with shapes and stuff. You gotta get like the right shapes, because there's some statues on the outside, and then there's some statues in the Shadow Realm that 3 people get teleported to. And the Shadow Realm people gotta match their shapes up with the people in the not Shadow Realm, so that they can bust out of the Shadow Realm. It's a lot, but that's essentially kind of it in a nutshell. Is just the people on the outside gotta make sure that they're properly coordinated with the shapes that they put into statues with the people on the inside, and that's how they bust out.
They're wrapping up that 3rd encounter right now. The reason that they send in 3 as well is for when they start this encounter, it sucks in 3 people into like a solo, as Zato was saying, a Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm, yeah.
And there needs to be 3 people present for that Shadow Realm for the encounter to work properly. They've already finished the 3rd one here, so they're about to start when people get close by, and when they die, there it is.
So this is another encounter that's going to have a timer at the top, but the only way I believe to really extend it is by doing a full cycle of the encounter. And so this isn't necessarily something where they need to beat it in 3.5 minutes necessarily, because like when they do a proper cycle, I think the timer just goes back up to 3.5 minutes. So yeah, normally the Shadow Realm people have to make like a very specific shape, and they need a couple of buffs on them in order to escape. But what they're, I don't know, Zima, if you want to explain it, because I've been yapping a lot.
So basically, both sides, the Shadow Realm players and the solo or the 3-stack players, they're basically making a key for each other to essentially free all the players that are stuck in that Shadow Realm. And they move these shapes and make these keys so fast, they're skipping an entire mechanic of this fight, where they have to like collect each other's ghosts and revive each other to continue the shape swapping. They're just completely skipping that part, and they're grabbing each other's ghosts and preparing for that final mechanic where they kind of need to grab 3 players' ghosts, and they need to dunk it on their own podiums. They're dying here so they can kind of eliminate some RNG. There's normally 6, but if you die in the correct order, you only need to dunk 3. So they're already done with that first round. Like, they just went right through that. You'll be able to see again. One of the players in the Shadow Realm, bottom right POV, Mars, is in the Shadow Realm. So you'll be able to see them kind of like fly out. It'll look like they died, but they just fly right out and just completely skip that mechanic.
Yeah, what's happening here is after a certain amount of like shape deposits and pickups and, you know, drop-offs and all that kind of stuff, the Witness, who's the final boss, is like really mad, and they try to like kill people. But what happens is that if you're able to escape, which like normally you can't, in normal conditions you can't escape, but if you're able to escape the Shadow Realm, as the Witness is killing you, he doesn't actually kill you, but your ghost still stays on the ground, which enables them to kind of speed things up. It's very hectic. I know.
Yeah,
and again, this explaining
crazy.
This fight for like legitimately to do this fight like the normal way is a quite a long explanation, even if it can be summed up in like, you know, 30 seconds or something like that. If you really want to know all the ins and outs of this encounter, to know all the exact rules and how it all works, it takes a little while to explain. But yeah, it's a lot of. I like the way that you put it. Is like the people in the normal realm are making a key, so that way, or like they're kind of like building the door, and then the Shadow Realm has the key to get out.
I was thinking like there's 2 doors and they gotta like meet each other.
Yeah. So one more of these cycles and we'll be out of here.
The final cycle, they do a really weird strat where they, at the very end, they kind of skip that final mechanic by just jumping into a hole and dying, and it just kind of auto completes it. It's really weird.
Yeah, so the whole like Witness killing people in the raid encounter, that is an actual mechanic at the very end when everybody escapes. It's like, oh, you escaped. Well, I'm going to kill everyone except one of you, so that way you can try to put yourselves together again with a ghost to revive each other. But if there's only one person alive when this happens, the game's just kind of like, well, 1 out of 1 people is alive, and therefore 100% of people are now alive.
Yep, there they go.
And so the one person who is targeted, they just stay alive, and everybody else just jumps in a hole, and the game's like, well, you're alive, so 1 out of 1 people are alive, so
I guess we're moving on.
I'm going up the lift right now. A really, really cool tech incoming. They're about to do a lot of rocket grappling to get all the way to the final boss. You can see how like huge this transition to the final boss is, and they just trivialized it with one shot.
They're going so far. They made it up in 1 rocket grapple. This I didn't even know was a thing until they showed it to me. They're doing the mechanic of the fight, but like before the fight's even really begun, because they're able to like, I'm trying to explain this like super quick, but essentially they're I mean,
they're dealing
if
damage
you
to
know
the immune. So in Destiny, bosses that are immune can take damage if you're dead as well. So they're kind of just breaking the dots on the boss that you need to break to start damage before the encounter even starts. So they just instantly get to a damage phase.
Yeah, normally to get the buff that you need to actually damage one of the 6 weak points on the witness, you got to do this whole rigmarole of like getting a buff and then shooting a thing, and then that gives you the buff, and then you go over here and then you shoot them. They just completely bypass all of that by using this weird condition where they can actually deal damage to an immune thing because of a special kind of rocket launcher that when you shoot it at the ground, it doesn't explode right away. But then you can reload, shoot another rocket, then the rocket you shot at the ground explodes, kills you, and that's what is able to kind of trigger
They're already
that.
at final stand.
Time is about to come
And
up.
time.
And yeah, time.
Oh, wow.
That final encounter is really, really fast.
Yeah, because a big chunk of it is getting to the damage phase, and then once you're at the damage phase, it's not that bad of a one cycle at all.
Yeah, I was expecting to see that getting to the damage phase. I'm like, oh, they're okay.
Yeah, they got to the damage phase before the fight even started.
Wow, that was wild.
Because when you actually start the fight, the witness is just like, oh, all my buttons on my shirt are blown off already. So he does his stagger animation, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm in my damage phase now. And you just go in and kill him.
That was...
Okay. My like big question is, how often is that soft lock? Were we really unlucky today, or was it
Yes.
Okay.
It does happen, and we did tell you about the possibility of it happening, but to happen 3 times in a row during a full run I've never seen that. That is unheard of. So
you're saying you're breaking new ground here on GDQ.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what GDQ is
magic.
for. You got to show what's possible.
My question is, how do you sleep at night knowing you're a cheesy cheese lord cheating?
Oh, I sleep comfortably in my nice soft mattress, nice big linen sheets,
What happened on the second encounter there?
Oh yeah, we saw.
I
White.
actually am not sure. I wasn't.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was just like a
Oh.
shape thing.
I did say it, but I think
And
people were
then-
just talking at the same time.
Then I had to do a skip I haven't practiced in probably like
Yeah,
2
I
months.
saw the
Yeah.
rocket grapple. I mean, it like the stream went offline, and then like it came back, and you're near the end of the thing. I wanted to show everyone the cool transition.
Yeah.
Wait, it
happens.
crashed? No.
Yeah, it crashed. It crashed for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait, did it actually? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
went offline. We were like, oh no, that was their ticket forward.
It was just before the updates.
I guess we'll just wait.
No, that was absolutely amazing. Chat was losing their minds, rightfully so. The movement, the absolute skill that all of you showed in this was so impressive.
Oh yeah.
It just absolute GGs. Chat, give all the GGs. Any quick shout outs? Where can people find you? What are you currently doing? Feel free to go
Do you
for
want to
it.
start with the
runners.
casters first, or?
Yeah.
No, you go.
Oh,
You go. You're the
okay.
runners.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'm Aegis. Some of you guys probably know me from Destiny 2 YouTube. If you don't, I'm a speedrunner. So I like doing raid speedruns. I also make a lot of endgame content. So like damage testing. I do like patch analysis, stuff like that. So if you're a big fan of that in the Destiny community, come check me out. I'll pass it on to my other teammates now if they want to introduce themselves.
Okay, so I'm Zemo. I'm a Destiny speedrunner as well, and I was on here earlier this year. I don't really do raids too often. It's kind of like a once a year thing with me. I'm more of a dungeon guy. I can't I don't know if I could do 6-man too much, because it's really hard to just get 6 people to even try and show up for this kind of thing. But I really respect the work that this team has put into it. They held the tourney. They also won that same tourney for this raid. So they really worked for it.
All right, Dado, you want to?
Anyone else? I'm going. My name is Dado. I do a lot of commentary on the game, giving my opinions on stuff. I kind of cover, I'd say the more casual / kind of hardcore crowd, not like at the super, super high end, like some of my peers here. I'm kind of more in the middle. Hey, how do I get this exotic? Hey, how do I kill this boss? Here's how I'm feeling about this piece of news, reaction type content, that kind of stuff over on YouTube, youtube.com/Dado Does Destiny.
Anyone else? Last call?
I am Ashex. I have recently gotten into this raid speedrunning with Aegis. Bless his heart. I mostly just post our runs or like random skips on YouTube at Ashex999.
I was made by the law sector. Real ones know.
Of course, everyone's now.
All right. Well, again, thank you all so much for coming and showing this amazing raid. All of you are absolutely amazing. That being said, for everybody in chat, we're going to go to a break in just a second, but as a quick reminder, when it comes to subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and any bits that you cheer on the GDQ Twitch channel right here help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, you want to see more Destiny 2 speedruns, because I love bringing Destiny 2 in here, how about you consider subscribing to the channel to get Slain, I hope you all had so much fun with that D2 raid. Before we get into our next game, which is Helldivers 2, I just want to remind you that there's this marathon that I think I've heard of before called Awesome Games Done Quick that's going to be coming up. Yeah, GDQ 2025 is going to be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th through the 12th. FYI, registration and hotel booking are both now open. So head to gamesdonequick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important date section to learn more. Also, runner and volunteer submissions are going to be opening up September 26th, and that is going to run through October 6th. So I want to see all those amazing runs get put together. I've definitely got a few planned for myself. We'll see how that goes. But looking at the schedule, like I said, we've got another awesome multi-person run coming up in the form of Helldivers 2 Liberation Percent. I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful commentator, JD Eggy, to explain what these wonderful Helldivers are T-posing kind of for.
No. This is taking in the glory of the battlefield. This is the fight for managed democracy. Welcome to Helldivers 2 Liberation Percent. This is a run that Ares and friends have been working on for about 2.5 months, I believe. This run is a culmination of efforts to make sure that people know that you can speedrun any game. This did not exist really beforehand. So Liberation Percent is a full operation clear, all objectives clear, all sub-objectives clear, and all bug holes, specifically because we're fighting bugs, all bug holes are closed. There are some objectives where there are some extra bug holes. They may or may not be taken out as needed, but so long as all the major markers on the map are cleared, you are good to go, and then that is Liberation Percent. As fast as possible, casualties will happen, such as the way of managed democracy.
I'm already seeing a lot of praised democracy.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that Super Earth's accolades stretch far and wide through the galaxy. As you can see, my runners here are really feeling it. I think it may be time to start loading up the operation.
All right.
Now, as we go in, most of the equipment that they've been running, people who know Helldivers 2 will notice that it's a little off meta. This is a choice made consciously. Anyone in chat who knows what's happening may notice a few outliers for strange weapon setups. This is for your entertainment and also to flex.
That is always the best idea.
Yes, and as all speedruns go, we want this on the hardest difficulty possible. So this is now level 10 Super Helldive Liberation Percent, and I believe this is them lined up, ready to go. So I will, on my mark, Helldivers, in 3, 2, 1, feet first into hell, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Hell pods prime.
So as they drop into the pods, you'll be able to see at least one or two of them will be running some what do you call it? The mission boosters to help with there's a lot of modifiers, effects. The planetary mission has some bonus features, a lot of them being detriments to either how quickly you can call in your stratagems, your bonus weapons, your super destroyer weaponry, and even how quickly you can call in teammates. So they're currently running a loadout that is specifically trying to combat a lot of that. I can't help but notice that it looks like 3 of them are running the same perk. Okay, that's a bug. It's fine. Ignore that. Helldivers 2, a very good game. But everything here is just meant to go fast, and we call this setup, they've already left, it's called Armored Core. Everybody gets a giant robot friend. Everybody is giant robot, and giant robot go fast real good.
Love it.
Oh, I see Stanley already doesn't like the penetrator. Son, let me tell you something. The penetrator makes sure to penetrate all those who stand in the way of super democracy. That's all. So that oh no better be, oh no, it's coming, the penetrator.
On a quick side, I've noticed this a couple times within the chat, since the general thing is, wait, how are we speedrunning Helldivers? This is definitely a kind of like user-generated category, if you will. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
That is correct.
Yep.
Yes, this is one of those, like, as it happens, we just kind of decide this is how it's going to be. It's an evolving, it's in flux. Yeah. But for a lot of part, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing that shows, like, you can literally choose to speedrun anything and in any way, shape, or form. And even if it's not a leaderboard category on speedrun.com, guess what? You can run it if you want to. So Don't let something not being on a leaderboard stop you, believe me.
Yeah, blaze new trails, make some fun. It really is just all in good fun. And specifically for here, this is for charity, so why not? All right, so they have, this initial mission is bursting the eggs of the Terminids that threaten Super Earth and Super Democracy. You might notice all these growths. These are the hives, and a lot of them are they're unsightly. They're not good for a Super Earth civilization to grow and thrive, so the only way to remove them is by eradication. So you close bug holes with anything that's explosive, anything from a grenade pistol all the way to I believe it was a 40+ ton tungsten rod launched from space. Sorry, for a moment the frames dropped and I was terrified.
You're fine.
No, we're fine. The mission protocol here is eliminate all the eggs in a space and move on. Eggs are these little glowing pustules, and you notice they've broken into squads. 3 of them are focusing on the main objective, and 1 has broken off to try and... Oh, 2 of them broken off. Oh, I'm looking at so many people running around on the map. Yes, they have decided to divide and conquer. Because the eggs are just like things that you must shoot, they explode, and you move on. It's easy to kind of run through. You don't have to eliminate the entire bug population in the area. They will just die off after you kill their young, which we won't go into the details of that. It's just how Magic Democracy rolls.
The answer is always democracy. And what's not democracy, it's democracy.
And if you question anything that is anti-democratic, and expect to have your visit from your democracy officer. Beautiful airstrike there. A lot of bugs tend to spawn if you linger in an area too long, and you will eventually be overrun, which is one of the reasons why the armor is so good. They tend to bounce off of you, and if you'll notice, the shriekers just kind of hit the armor, and because it has a collision, they tend to die under your foot, even though they're like 15 feet in the air, which is a nice bonus. Blow up the king says, if the answer is not democracy, then it is freedom. Questions are treason.
Wow. I see the Helldivers community has showed up.
They've come in
Love
droves,
it.
as they should, to support their Helldivers. The spread of managed democracy cannot be stopped.
Just in general, this game's been fascinating me since it came out, since it's just constantly evolving, and then the whole story of basically the equivalent of a dungeon master was pretty much controlling all of your fates.
Yes, the legendary Joel, as some have given the name, Joel, the man in the chair who listens to all your Discord calls. The moment you mention his name, he spawns 15 Bile Titans, and sometimes he'll drive up a tank for you to try and drive and, kill your friends with.
As a treat.
As a treat, exactly. We try not to talk about Joel, and I believe I have your word that Joel will not be watching the stream, so he will not mess up the speedrun.
We're gonna say yes for the sake of democracy.
Okay. And so begins the calls for Joel in chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. I should have known. Praise be to Joel. Yes, of course. We only speak well of Joel. Joel is a very nice man. He will never throw anything at us that they can't handle. The Mega Nest. Oh, nice. They cleared out Mega Nest. So the Mega Nest is a collection of bug holes that is, we call it Bug City. There are actual walls on the outside. It's almost entirely fortified in that way that you have to enter in from like 3 different points. They've cleared it remarkably quickly. I do apologize that my commentary isn't very informative and just yammering at this point.
I mean, that's commentary 70% of the time.
Yeah, no, fair.
So for these maps, is it randomly generated each time you spawn, or are they can they drop down this planet 5 times and everything's in the same exact spot all 5 times?
Everything is randomized. I believe that the environment is completely shifted around. Objectives are never in the same place. Sometimes they're all pocketed together. Sometimes you have enemy nests on top of objectives. And occasionally you'll get load-ins where everything is so spread out that you will be cutting the timer down to the wire almost every time, which is real fun. Along with objectives, there are like little points of interest. Sometimes they'll give you the currency for the war bonds, which is their battle passes, or medals, which is the currency with which you buy the cool things in the battle pass, new armors, new weapons, and because the game is, there's a leveling up system. Ooh, that's bad luck right there, buddy. As the body just slowly lies on the ground. The progression, you can play with people who had poured almost 1,000 hours in, and also have a guy this is his first drop. So you will have a wealth of skills, and it kind of, at least in my eyes, it promotes people try to teach each other things, drop things for your friends. And occasionally you'll come across the backpack buddy system, where if you can see the gentleman on the top right there, his backpack has a bunch of little yellow boxes. Those are supply packs. They give back. Ooh, well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, no more backpack. Rip and chat or F and chat for backpack.
F and chat for backpack boy. Your backpack resupplies a good chunk of your stims, which is your healing items, your ammo, and occasionally will give you, I believe, it's at least half of your grenades worth. And of course, with modifiers and upgrades, the resupply backpacks become more effective. But you can leapfrog supplies by emptying the guy's backpack into your teammates, then refilling the backpack. The man with the backpack gets his supplies filled all the way full and gets 4 supplies. It's a small, I wouldn't call it a loophole, but it is certainly something that democracy will allow for the success of Super Earth. I believe there was somebody complaining about the man with the fire. contemplating, making note that we are using very little fire for the bugs. This is a point of contention. Fire has become very fun to play with. There has been several updates where it got nerfed, not quite into the ground, but being less than effective than what people would like. People would get hit by bugs that leap upon you while they're on fire, and thus the joys of being on fire are passed on to you. And then you both die in a screaming pile of mess. Nowadays, fire is far more effective, and it becomes a crutch for a lot of people to play with.
That makes sense.
This is not to, douse anyone's fun with fire, but we figured we'd like to show off quite a few things that are going on in this game. For example, the 500k bomb that may have given people a few, I won't say a few blind spots. The thermite grenades, which take out heavies. So this guy is that was a heavy. He's now a pile of ash. Those thermite grenades eat through armor. A recent update allowed them to eat through the armor and kill the charger there, who was just, imagine a rhino beetle on steroids, and he's just angry all the time. Yeah. So the thermite grenades would only eat through some of the armor and kind of do some chip damage occasionally. Now they will almost guaranteed two-shot hit. And if multiple Helldivers are really angry, you'll just, a bunch of thermites come out and the fireworks start. The chargers, even though they are on fire, will continue to follow you. So it is kind of a gamble of like, can I get away from this thing before he explodes, and so that my legs do not get crushed under, I want to say like 35 tons. And here comes Goose. Goose is the other man in the chair for Helldivers. Occasionally he'll get stuck in the air, but this looks like a smooth landing. There we go. All right. And all aboard the Goose Express. And that is the first mission done.
Nice.
Say fairly clean. That's a pretty good time, I think. Respectable.
Actually, as they're flying away from the first mission, you'll probably be answering this a few times for people that come in and out of this chat. Remind everybody what liberation percent is, because again, this isn't a category that you see in SRC, but it's what we're running.
So, liberation percent is a full map clear, all objectives done, all secondary objectives done, as you can see on the score panel here. And maximum, all of the major bug holes, anything that has a medallion, all those bug holes, enemy spawns, essentially, enemy homes, are torn apart to make room for the next Super Earth civilization. So all those have to be removed. That way you can have your Super Earth sponsored malls and shopping centers and parking garages.
Like, we don't need bugs, we need parking garages. That's
need
a
more
mood.
concrete. This is the way of Super Earth.
Also, I love the outstanding patriotism nods in that menu screen for everybody.
It's there's a lot of just tongue in cheek. I mean, all facades aside, this is just a really kind of messed up version of fascism. All right, but because we all know the joke, it's funny. And so, outstanding patriotism. There's, I believe, something about like, I think superior duty, and then mediocre success, and then oh goodness, I have to look it up. But there was one that was like disappointing service, which sounds like a 1-star review on Yelp. And as they speed run through the menus, you'll see a couple of them are swapping out armors here. Let's see. Where are we going? Yes, the med armors. So armors, all the fashion choices actually do have an application of providing some bonuses. Some have extra padding, which you'll notice the one on the far right with the white helmet. He has the medium armor, plus he gets one more hit than standard medium armors, but he doesn't get any other bonus. So he's just survivability. The gentleman there on the wolf, who is running, I believe that is the fireproof armor. And Ares is running, I believe he's also running a padded. And the white and green ones, those two have the exact same bonuses. Those are your med kit boys. Those guys, their stims, they have the real good medic drugs. Imagine if painkillers also made you go super fast and healed broken bones, like fully shattered. Now you're just running around like a maniac, but the bone is healed. So future drugs super go fast, and they last longer on you, so you can get to your other friends to get good drugs to them.
Fair.
Yeah. So they have extra pockets for the nice little needles that go into your neck. The only issue that I have with the needles is that occasionally you'll get gently tickled by a bug, and the animation for a heal will just not go off.
Don't tell me it wastes the heal.
It does not waste the needle,
Okay.
thankfully. That no one would be happy about that. The game would be unplayable, in my opinion, because there's so many jostlers. But there is a technique where you will just leap through the air and stab yourself in the neck while you're doing it. Ooh, like that guy might need. So this is an eradicate mission. Eradicate's really nice for the speedrun category because it is just kill everything. It's fast. If it shows up, if it moves, you just remove it from existence. This is where Armored Core, in my opinion, really shines because you just keep shooting.
Gotcha.
They've gone with the low ground strategy, which normally there's a platform above them, above what looks like garage doors at a condo. Most people set up on top of the condo, but they've chosen to set up in the driveway, which I guess, I don't want to call anybody out, but this feels like a setup that a middle-aged dad would do while setting up his 1940s Suburban to be overhauled into a really sad shag wagon.
So would you call this a mid-dive crisis?
A mid-dive crisis indeed. Yes, I would. Chat, can we get F's in the chat for a mid-dive crisis? This is a cry for super Earth help.
It's a cry for democracy. Oh, don't put the punning showrunner in a situation. I can
Honestly,
do terrible mom jokes.
I love it. I appreciate that you are of a punning perspective. You like puns. I like puns. Okay, so again, the flamethrower doing a really good job of just putting essentially area denial. Even after you fire, the ground is on fire, and it's rough for the bugs, which is great for Super Earth. You'll notice that as bugs rise from the ground, they're just pre-dropping a lot of stuff on top of it. It's just preventative measures. It's just to make sure that anyone who comes out is properly greeted with sterilization so that they don't infect them with anti-democratic ideals.
Somebody chat just wrote "Dadmocracy" and I can't. I'm done.
Well done. Somebody pin that comment, please. This is what we're now on.
GG's.
Yes. So as we're about halfway through, this is the speedrun category is called Liberation Percent. You complete all major objectives, all secondary objectives, and at the little bottom of the scorecard, there's like all those little things that say like bug holes. You close all of those and make sure you get all those medallions. So that is like the community agreed. That is what the Liberation Percent 100% clear is. You don't have to get every point of interest, thankfully. Otherwise, that would take quite a lot more time. But the main idea is like you just get a full scorecard clear.
Actually, I don't know if you touched on it briefly yet, but I noticed somebody early when they were working on loadouts mentioned that one of them was an engineer. Are there, for those that don't really know Helldivers 2, are there different classes that people can choose on top of the armor?
Sorry, not really classes, but the engineering buff, it's part of the armor set. The engineering buff gets more grenades. You are a demolitions engineer, essentially. You get more buffs to you have 2 more slots for grenades, and then you also have an easier time with, what is it called? Recoil management.
Okay, gotcha.
Suddenly my brain is very fuzzy on whether or not that's correct. Engineering.
Look, mid-dive crisis are a thing.
Sorry, kids. I gotta look up something real quick. Let me just put my glasses up and look at my phone here and just.
Just really, really personal personal attached. Like, let me just check out my pager here. See what
Pager! No. Oh, no. Why would you do that to me? That's so perfect. I've lived with those things. I lived in a house with a bunch of doctors, and like those things.
I lived in a house with a rotary phone. We'll do that.
I visited a house with a rotary phone. It did work. It was very fun. Anyway, yes.
It's really cool.
It was cool. It worked. It did a little rotary tickety tick as the numbers went by, and like all of a sudden, like Cruella DeVille dialing on her phone with her little cigarette hand made a lot more sense. Of like, oh, that's what that does. All right, we seem to be taking on some acceptable losses here as the desperation of the bugs hangs up. You'll notice that there's green goo falling from the sky. Now, those who don't know, Helldivers, there is in fact a bug that sprays acid from both ends of its body. From the front end, it's just a long spray, and it eats away at your armor, it slows you down, and kills you very quickly. If they're far enough away from you, and they really don't like you, they will turn around, raise their hindquarters into the air, and begin lobbying volley bomb shots of acid. This is called a bad time, because on impact, it sprays you with acid, it knocks you off your feet, and anybody within range who has melee on you gets basically a free 2 swipes on you while your armor is being eroded. It's a bad time. It's big sad. So that is what that is. That's what the green goo falling from the sky. It is not happy fun time juice. It is not good drugs. It is a bad rain time. And Super Earth denies any ideas of research into exploring good time juice from the sky.
Yeah, does that kind of explain the green kind of silhouetting effect that I see on some screens?
Yes, that is when they're covered in acid. Bile Titans, those big guys with the daddy long legs of death, those guys also have green goo that sprays from them, but they're only truly vulnerable from the belly, or unless you have really powerful stratagems from directly above. But everything else, like any small arms, just bounce off them. He doesn't care. It's a bad time. So occasionally you'll also get little tiny bugs, baby spewers, who will just pop up and will just barf on you like a cat who's eaten just a little bit too much. They'll just hump on your shoes. And that's real annoying because it doesn't hurt you, but it slows you down and makes you vulnerable to everybody else around you who wants you dead. Wow. And that is in fact eradication complete. A little slow on the timer from what I've seen, but fantastic cleanup job. Here's hoping Goose does not get caught. Occasionally he'll get caught on the garage roof. And the way to fix that is to give him a gentle nudge with any weapon with any kind of knockback that kind of jostles the model and sets him up. Here it comes. It looks like that is a smooth landing.
That's a good goose.
That's a great goose landing. And everyone piles aboard, and that is Mission 2 complete of Operation. You'll notice that Goose occasionally gets a couple shots in as he departs, and that is really just him doing his part. He does get a couple. I've seen him get at least a 5-point K on extract. Like, where were you earlier when we needed you?
What was it? Super Troopers? It's like, I'm doing my part, or something.
I'm doing my every Reddit post is I'm doing my part. It's like, guys, it's a little too on the nose, and everyone said it, but yes, you are. Good job. There you go. Super Helldive, outstanding patriotism.
And actually, while they're setting up for the next one, I've been noticing a couple questions in chat. As a reminder, with difficulty, you mentioned difficulty 10. For those uninitiated into this wonderful democracy here, other than 10 being a pretty solid number in the 1 to 10 scale, what does that mean for our runners here?
So it would seem that those who work towards managed democracy and the spread of Super Earth's reign, and well, they weren't satisfied. This game originally had 9 difficulty levels. It was just impossible and suicide mission. And then everyone said that wasn't hard enough. And like you said, 10 is a very nice round number. So they said, you right. All right, we're going to add Super Helldive. And so Super Helldive was added in. Spawns are more often. You have a lot more heavies. You have a lot more opportunities to get a lot of super uranium which is one step above unobtainium for most ridiculous name of a thing. And it's just everything and more. Arrowhead decided this is the one thing we're going to absolutely listen to Helldivers about.
Okay.
That is Super Helldive.
And the next question was a request for you to explain major orders.
I did see that, yes. So major orders, orders from Super Earth will come in, and these are, I believe, weekly missions that the community works towards. So since the beginning, because we are cosplaying fascism, democratic orders come from Super Earth in the form of long speeches, and they give you an objective to work towards. So, for example, we need certain planets liberated by the end of like a couple of days, and then those orders are completed. I believe it might be twice a week now, because I do remember orders happening for like 2 days periods or 4 day periods. But those are the major orders. It's like the community works together towards a goal to achieve a thing. It's either liberating a planet, defeating a certain number of things, using a weapon a certain number of times, a combination of killing a certain number of enemies with that weapon or that stratagem. And a lot of it is in a very fascinating way. It's kind of like beta testing. Like, all right, cool. We don't know how this thing works. We know how we put it in this game. But if everyone could run it at the same time, we'd like to look at some stats. And it's actually been really interesting to watch because in the past couple of days, we're like, yeah, we need you to kill, I believe it was several billion bugs. Helldivers community was like, bet. And I think it was done with 2 days to spare.
Oh, jeez.
Which is remarkable. And, sorry, as a quick aside here, as they enter this mission, this is a fuel extraction mission, which, as you know, fuel makes the galaxy go round. So this is a, not quite a point defense, but you have to do a bunch of math at a bunch of terminals, open some valves, and slowly extract some fuel into some ships. And this feels really, really poignant with the current political world today, and it makes me laugh every time. Because, like, yes, we're just here to steal fuel from your planet. It's refined, fun bit of trivia, it's refined from the processed blood or guts of bugs. So the reason the bugs have not been completely eradicated entirely is because we need them for fuel source. And there was a small, what do you call it? Like a throwaway line somewhere that bugs give better fuel when they're angry.
Interesting.
So, I think there was like a study of like, it was one of the major orders. Like, we need to know if there's if it's true that bugs give better fuel when they're angry. They produce a certain like hormone. And at the end of the study, is like, nah, it didn't work out. But thanks for killing all those bugs.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So this is a mission is hard on Super Helldive because enemies just keep showing up, and that is some friendly fire. That's friendly fire from a turret. So fun thing about turrets, they don't really look where they're shooting. They just see enemy on that side. Everything in this path must go. So if a Helldiver's in between, too bad for Helldiver. You should have been crawling.
Not fair.
Oh yes, as Deathcroc says, this is not heresy. This is undemocratic rumor and hearsay. And you're right. I will be speaking to my freedom officer after this for a long conversation.
Yeah, and I love, like, again, once you complete these major orders, like, there's something huge that happens in the game, and I'm assuming they're talking about turning a planet into a black hole.
Oh yes, that did happen. That is
was that a success
fine.
or a failure?
That was a success. So there was a major nesting ground, and Super Earth was like, my friends, we do not like this. And the Helldivers were like, understood. We will now remove it from existence. Slowly and painfully. So you had to go in, to all of their nests and essentially insert miniaturized black holes. And you had to do this several thousand times, as you do on a planet, to just cover the entire Earth, the planet's crust. Then you just ejected it into the mantle. And fun fact, if you get enough black hole starters near each other, near the gravitational core of a planet, black hole, you can still see this black hole when the bugs are not covering it with an impenetrable spore cloud. It's still there. It is a chilling reminder of what the community can do. And then they asked us to kill several billion bugs, and then said, "Yeah, that's fine," and nothing seemed to happen. So, like, a strange dichotomy on like the consequences of following the major orders.
Joel was having a heck of a day that day.
Yes, there was also there was a debacle a while back of Helldivers. If you do not know some Helldivers lore here, there was a long time where a planet just could not be liberated. Percentages would go up and down, but it would almost always reset at the end of the day. It was called Malevelon Creek, and people began to call it Space Knob. And the joke got so widespread that they didn't really acknowledge that that's what they were doing, but they gave people a cape, and it's called of Heroes of the Creek or something. It's specifically those who fought on Malevelon Creek. And the major issue was not that the percentage kept going down, it's that a bunch of new players kept coming in. And this is fighting bots, not bugs. Bots are the true nemesis of Super Earth, the sentient ones. They're here to murder us all with intent. Unlike bugs who just spread without care. Bots, the automatons, I'm sorry, is what they're called. They need to be eradicated and put under control. Otherwise, they will take over the galaxy themselves. And Super Earth cannot have it. Oh gosh, I've lost my tangent entirely. Remembering the creek. So there were bots. Some of the normal spawn enemies could not be penetrated with starter weapons, and all the older Helldivers would, because they're under a lot of pressure to fight on Malevelon Creek, were kept getting matched up with greenhorns to learn the game, and I mean the kids would just keep dying. So missions would fail because these newbies were coming in with weapons that just don't penetrate. So Malevelon Creek became this awful proving ground, and sometimes you get lucky and some not. But this is, that was Malevelon Creek. And so Malevelon Creek is remembered to this day as one of the strangest things that just became a phenomena of Helldivers.
I love how the lore just kind of takes on a sentience of its own, really.
It really does. And the community has, thankfully, for the most part, been pretty accepting of the shenanigans that happen and making their own lore and just having fun with it. Yeah. As a reminder, as we're about halfway through the run, this is Liberation Percent. This is a speedrun category created by some community members. It is, you get a clear scorecard. All major objectives, all secondary objectives, and all spawn points, all bug holes are closed. And it has to be a full extraction. That is something I forget to mention. Everybody must get out. You must have a full squad extract. You might notice occasionally that the boys will complete an objective and seemingly get killed very quickly. This is a strategy of managed democracy. It's called Ninja Dust. You complete your objective and join the group. They will respawn you where everybody else is, but it really helps if you have the reinforcement points to spend. It really does help get everyone back together. It's kind of dark, but that is managed democracy. Sacrifices must be made.
Fair. So about how much more it is looking like they have to complete the Liberation Percent?
I don't know because I cannot see their map. But on each Super Helldive, I believe there are 5 blue objectives and 5, or at least for this one, there's at least 3 major steps to get to the main objective. So about 8 objectives there, and then whatever bug holes, the major bug city, of course, which I believe they're just starting to get a handle on here. So I want to say they have at least 6 more objectives to do.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm hoping somebody will pull up a map and I can see something. I've been rambling and losing my mind as you do. Yes, you'll notice that one of them is poking and playing a puzzle. That is the math that they have to do, and occasionally math is real hard.
Facts.
That is one of the time sinks that has to happen, but you cannot turn the fuel pipes ahead of time until you do math. And so one of the most accursed things of this game is being stuck in a terminal, doing math while everyone else is killing bugs. It's an important part of democracy, so it must happen, but math sucks. There is also an objective here. I believe they just completed it. It was the SEAF. The SEAF and cannons are objectives on the map that allow you free orbital cannons. They're like ballistic cannons that not quite intercontinental. That's a different mission, but yeah, big cannon launch around in sky. It lands, and you get 3 different weapon types. Occasionally, you get a high yield, which is basically a nuke on steroids. A regular mini nuke, which is, I mean, everyone knows what that is. Then you have an explosive, and then you have 2, quote, useless ones. They have their purposes, but there's a static shock, which gives everybody in the area a lovely electrical massage, with or without consent, and a smoke screen. Smoke screen can be helpful, but in a cannon that could murder everything in front of you, just murder everything in front of you. And so that is one of the reasons that the SEAF is heavily prioritized on missions, is that it's something you don't have to bring in. It is literally a free orbital strike of sorts, of varying power.
Gotcha.
So we are seeing, looks like yes, that is a high yield explosive and a static trap for 1. Another standard explosive coming up. And while that is happening, the ships are slowly coming in to democratically take fuel to the super destroyer to be used to supply the rest of the fleet. And I believe that is one of the last of the big bug nests there. With a grenade pistol. One of the sidearms that is both a blessing and a curse, the grenade pistol. It's great for closing bug holes, but it does not have a safe arm distance. It'll just blow up as soon as it hits something. So sometimes a bug is giving you a nice hug and you pull the trigger, and you both go kablooey. And it's just how it is. And the worst part is sometimes the bug doesn't care. You'll be flying on the ground being, oh God, my head, it's ringing, and you flop around. Meanwhile, the bug is trying to play patty cake with your chest cavity. So it's just a bad time. But it's a great thing to have, to always have an explosive to break through armor, punch through bug holes, and just, it is a risk-reward system that it's rough. I love it and hate it. I'm terrible with it. But I know its purpose. I understand why it is a thing.
Totally.
And that looks like the SEAF is coming online, and that is beautiful E710 coming out of that pipe there. Elemental E710, which I believe Chad has remarked, if you turn it upside down, it's just oil. E710 is just oil. It's blood oil.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's everyone understands, right? Yeah. This is space fashion. Let's see here. So that is the slow process of fueling. You must lock the hose into place. That's mission complete there. Great. Now we just had to worry about closing some bug holes here. They seem to be struggling. It looks like there's just some unfortunate, overwhelming numbers on the planet. They've called in, they're calling in extraction now. This is because on this planet in particular, there is a stratagem in place, not a stratagem, sorry, a modifier in place that delays all call-ins by about 10%, I believe, which leads to almost a full minute for Goose to show up. Now, why Goose takes 10 minutes to get from a ship because of atmospheric interference, we don't really know. We just call it bad traffic. And unfortunately, it looks like we're missing one last bug hole just to the southwest, northwest there. So that will be his run to make, and hopefully, pardon my phlegm, the rest of the gentlemen will just defend point. It might be a split of 2 and 2. Yeah, it looks like a 2 and 2 split for defending and attacking here. Nope, 2 are going for a radar station. 1 is going for Bug City, and the other is trying to give Goose a person to land on, as it were. He has 3 more seconds to get back to the platform. He may have to just restart. Yeah, he's just going to restart the extraction process. It's a bit unfortunate. They were hoping to shave a minute there. Logistical problems. Yes, exactly. Goose has to deal with paperwork before he leaves the shuttle. That is the atmospheric challenge.
They had to make sure it was an OSHA-approved platform before.
OSHA be damned. This is Super Earth. However, bureaucracy must be upheld, and so you must fill out the paperwork anyway.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
And someone actually mentioned in chat or requested you explain supply lines to them.
Oh, supply lines. That's a fun part of the map. I was told this once, and so if people in chat could explain with me, that would be great. But supply lines are essentially reinforcements that move from one planet to another. So on the map, you have different planets right next to each other, and sometimes they are both active as places for democracy to happen, for missions to occur. Democracy is happening on those planets at the moment, as you can see. The issue becomes sometimes if a planet is not liberated one before the other, it becomes very difficult to liberate the second planet because supplies and manpower will move from one planet to another. And so it becomes like a priority situation. Do you just have enough people attack the one being supplied, or you attack the supply? And you can follow, there's cute little triangles that move from one planet to another to give you an easy visual cue of like, all right, this planet's supplying this one, supplying this one. And so sometimes you can be a true hero of democracy and attack the main source, but really just want to go where the whole community has decided this is what we're hitting. But yeah, supply lines exist. They're a fun little addition, and they kind of give a unique little life to the game of like, you're not just the only one vying for the galaxy. Other people are trying to back up other folks, which is neat and fun and democratically sound. I do believe that is the last Bug City taken care of. We're now just waiting on Goose to show up, and this is the quiet before the storm. Let's hope that Joel has fallen asleep at the keyboard. All hail Joel. All hail Joel. It's fine.
And actually, when it comes to Goose landing, does the extraction stay indefinitely, or do you have a certain amount of time to get everyone to the ship before the ship nopes out?
It's not a time limit. We've discovered that it's a damage limit. So Goose will just sit there for up to 10 minutes. And sometimes the server will kick you out and say that you just didn't get on the ship. But the time limit really does not exist, truly. However, if enough damage is taken to the ship, Goose will just leave. So you will have plenty of time, mission time will keep going. Mm-hmm. But you just won't have the prompt. There's normally a window of he'll say we cannot stay any longer. We have to go. And after that point, as long as you're on the platform, he gives you roughly 5 to 3 seconds to dive into the bay door and give you that movie ending leap. Sometimes he'll just leave. And the community was trying to figure why, and apparently it is a damage thing. So if you drop a 500 kg bomb on top of Goose, he may take that personally and just leave. However, the ship is made of the most indestructible material, and I believe what the super destroyers are made out of, where they just do not give a care. Goose is perfectly fine with the radiation that comes off. And as long as you're inside the ship, you're fine. But if you're outside when the damage is taken, you are abandoned to fend for yourself. And the funny thing is, you don't die. The bugs just sit there and poke at you, so you hear all these pain sounds that come from the planet over comms. Yeah, it's really kind of disturbing. It's a fun little bug. I don't think they'll ever patch it. I wouldn't call it a bug. It's really a feature. Just something they forget, to kill the player character on the ground. You're still alive, but the bugs are just always hitting you. So these terrible screams are coming over the comms. And meanwhile, Goose is in the cockpit going yeah, He should have been on the boat. Didn't get on the boat. It's a shame.
And now I'm just gonna leave this channel open so you can listen. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get to listen to your fellow teammate just slowly get eaten alive.
Like, and what did we learn today, class? Don't leave anyone behind.
Don't leave anyone behind. No, get on the goddamn boat. That's what you learned. Get on the goddamn boat the moment you can. Don't try to get up your kill count. Don't try to play with the bugs. Don't take a pet home. You just get on the boat.
Take a pet home.
Chat, I hate to tell you, this looks like one of the most calm landings Goose will have today. Oh, and I spoke too soon. There they are. There are the Shriekers. All right, so we have some action. It's fine. All right, as long as Joel doesn't spawn, 15 Bile Titans will be fine. It's okay. Everyone just keep diving. All right, and everyone on the boat. And ladies and gentlemen, time stops when we get to the scorecard. Oh no, Aries missed the door. It's fine. We're in. We're good. Okay.
It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen,
just
it has
keeping
been a
things
pleasure.
spicy.
Keeping things interesting. Oh no, I missed the door. Ha 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 ha. Get in the boat. Slowly, quietly shitting his pants. And time ends at scorecard when it disappears. And that is full percentage. That is it. That is clear.
Time.
Congratulations. That is time.
GG.
Sorry, that's the word. That is time.
Yes, GG's.
I couldn't find words. I'm so sorry.
You're totally fine. That was
Beautiful.
Awesome.
That is managed democracy. Welcome, Aries. Welcome, boys.
Hello.
Hello, friends. So, way to give us a little bit of a scare at the end when a certain person decided to not dive the correct direction at the end there.
Oh, that's fine. I just got bumped out of the way by someone else who was diving. You have 20 seconds to enter the Pelican. 25 if everyone's right next to it. So that was fine.
Okay.
Nice friendly hockey
There you
shake.
go. Yeah.
Gotcha. God, I like the immediate deflect. It was somebody else.
Yep. I didn't do that. It was fine.
I didn't miss. He bumped me.
Well, yeah. So, like, on the one hand, we take it seriously. On the other hand, it's a game where you really got to have a sense of humor, where team kills definitely can and will happen. I mean, like you can see for this mission in the stats, we had 3 accidental kills. Probably most of those from turrets.
Yes, we witnessed at least 2 of them happen in quick succession.
Good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was honestly really cool showcasing, or we touched about it a few times, that it's like so many people in chat were going, Helldivers 2 is a speedrun? Wait, what? And it was so cool showing this category that has been generated by the community and what it can do. And again, further proof, it doesn't have to be on the leaderboard to run a category. You can create your own category for whatever game you want to play and make it awesome. And for the sake of democracy.
Absolutely. You know, and it's the sort of thing where we looked at the game and kind of said, hey, all right, what's the existing categories out there, and how do we enjoy playing the game, and how are we going to enjoy speedrunning it? And Liberation Percent is definitely put together because we figured this would be an enjoyable way to watch it rather than scouting out a mission ahead of time. So I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. Really quick shout outs or comments from everybody, or like if there's a Discord to join, now's your chance.
Yes, there is a Helldivers speedrunning Discord, which I'm sure we can throw into the chat. Thanks to everyone there who's been helping out. They've been very welcoming to me in particular. Shout out to everyone in the Blitzdivers Discord, because they've also been a huge help, a lot of helpful tips and tricks. Like shout out to Iravan, he's one of the more knowledgeable Helldivers 2 YouTubers out there, and so he puts out a lot of great tips and tricks, and a lot of like people kind of connected to his community are doing speedruns as well. Also shout out to everyone in the Roll for Adventure Discord. This is like all our friends who helped us train. A number of them have have gotten world records with us along the way, just kind of practicing, trying to figure out how to speedrun the bugs in particular. Shout out to, I have a personal shout out for the Shots Fired Marathon, where I got my start actually doing speedruns. So it's pretty cool. We'll be doing Helldivers 2 for them in a couple of weeks. And just thanks to GDQ for inviting us out to showcase Helldivers 2. We love this game.
Yeah. Of course. Anyone else? Quick shout outs. Say hi to chat.
Hi, chat. How's it going?
There we go. We got one of them.
I mean, you can follow some of us on Twitch. We might be streaming here shortly or whatnot. I'm Wolf9er, Wolf9NER. Anybody else on Twitch?
Yeah, mine's Somr54, SOMR54 for Twitch. I don't stream very regularly, but occasionally I do speedrunning things.
Nice.
I stream, but I don't speedrun yet. This has proven that it's totally worth it to try. I am JD_Eggy on Twitch. I do a variety of games, but I hang out with a lot of speedrunners, and I just want to shout out a friend of mine, Astrid the Horror Girl, speedrunner. I feel like she's made an appearance once or twice out here. Yeah, give them some love.
And honestly, double GG's for heckin' good commentary. Very well done.
Thank you. I'm resisting the urge to apologize because it's so often my ADHD is punished. So this is the one time I'm allowed to let it shine.
And don't let JD sell you short. He's been practicing with us and is a fantastic diver and teammate and a great friend.
I take that wholeheartedly. Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, it seems we have done our democratic duties and completed this wonderful Helldivers 2 speedrun. But chat, we're only halfway done. We still have 2 more runs. And we're going to be going to a more stylized Children of the Sun after this really quick democratic hydration. Hello again, friends, and we are back with more Express Lane. I hope you listened to me and did a nice stretch, got a nice hydration break, because we have 2 more amazing runs for this end of what I'm calling Pew Pew Pew. Nice little shooter, projectile type episode. But before we head over to our next wonderful run, I have one quick thing I need to say, and that is, well, it's more of a mission. You gotta head over and join the official GDQ Discord and add the hotfix role. That way you can catch up on and keep tabs on everything that's upcoming events. You can talk with staff like me, which is, I don't know, kind of cool, but that's a biased opinion, and more. All you have to do is go into the Twitch chat. I see you there. Type !Discord and you'll get all the info you want. And by the time I look over the Twitch chat, I better see that in chat. So I'm paying attention to you. All right, let's see what we got here. We've done Destiny 2, we've done Helldivers 2, and it looks like we are heading on over to some Children of the Sun with the wonderful Satan herself and Happy by 3. So you two wild and crazy cats, let's take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Asuka. My name is Satan, or Satan herself, or Satan isn't herself on Twitch. I know it's confusing, and I am here to play Children of the Sun today. Also, as you can see, I've come in full costume. I'm indistinguishable from the main character very clearly. And I have an absolutely wonderful commentator, one of my very good friends, Happy. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, that's me. I'm Happy by 3. I have not run this game yet, though I'm quite tempted because the run looks really, really fun.
The run is awesome.
But I am very familiar with the run and the route and such because I've been watching it a lot, which is probably why I'm tempted to run it.
You better. This game is so cool. So I'm just going to give a quick lowdown on what this game is. This game is if you took Super Hot, made it a sniper, and then made sure there was bisexual lighting throughout the entire game. Essentially, we're going to be telepathically controlling a single bullet through each of our levels, and that makes every level kind of a routing puzzle. We want to sort of like see what the shortest distance from every enemy to another enemy is. And we're also going to have all sorts of super cool power-ups. There's going to be shakeups to the formula along the way, and also this game is actually timed in loads removed. So there are going to be some things here and there where it looks like I'm taking more time, but it might actually because of that loads remove time that actually matters for the leaderboards of this game. However, we are going to have a bit of a mind towards RTA speed as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and try to get started. Timer does not start until I enter into the first level, though. We're on the last level, so I have to go all the way back. So I'll give a nice little countdown. I'm going to have to do some menuing before timer actually starts, so my countdown is going to be accurate, so don't worry about it. So yeah, let's get ourselves going. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cool. So now that we're starting, I'm probably going to talk a lot because Satan has to do some really precise shooting of things. So like we said, the core mechanic of this is that you can telepathically redirect your bullet after it hits an enemy or some objects, mainly objects that explode, which really makes the whole thing very much a routing puzzle. If you could see these maps from the top down, these puzzles would be very, very easy. But as you can see, we are in 3D, so it's not quite that easy. You have to kind of move around the map when you play casually, see where the different enemies are, and figure out a route where you can hit all of them without hitting any obstacles. But for speedrunning, it's less about, obviously, finding a route that doesn't hit obstacles and more about finding the fastest route. So if we can get multiple enemies in one shot, that's pretty fast, which is why we're shooting the gas tanks of these cars, because now we can kill all the enemies in this level with just 3 redirects of the bullet. Because if you hit a gas tank, that counts the same way as a person. You can redirect, except gas tanks blow up and they'll kill anything near it, which is super, super helpful. Level 4 is the first time we deal with buildings, which will stop your bullet and kill the level, and you have to start over. And not every window is open. So in addition to having to like see around and see if there's an enemy inside the building, you also have to be precise enough to avoid the building and know which windows are open. I have lost a couple, what I thought was going to be beating the level when I was playing casually, to, oh, there's a window there. Because I'm apparently
time.
a bird.
Speaking birds.
This is breakfast time. So we are pausing after hitting each of these animals, and you'll notice there's no time slowdown when that happens. Normally after you hit something, when you're redirecting the bullet, time slows down. But if we pause, there's a cool little glitch where time keeps going full speed, which obviously is faster.
Almost all
but
of them.
After hitting a human target, it is literally frame perfect. So we don't do it on human targets, but we do it on animal targets, like everything in breakfast time.
And yeah, that makes it so that the game is indeed moving in real time instead of in slow-mo. And this is going to be really, really important for something later, so stick around.
Yeah,
do
there's
not wanna
one
miss
more time
that
we can use that
integration.
and it's huge.
Here you can
so now
notice that I'm doing something weird. Yeah, go ahead, Happy.
Yeah, I was gonna say we unlocked our first like new mechanic. So you know, it's a puzzle game, and so new things happen to make the puzzles more complicated. And this first mechanic is the redirect. So that little like white corona that shows now and then around the reticle is kind of showing how far in any direction you can kind of nudge the angle of the shot. So you can kind of work your way around some things. Like here, we kind of redirect it so it goes into the gas can or into the gas tank. There, you can kind of get around those hay bales. But that's a very, very small redirect. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 5 degrees max.
Yeah,
that you can
the
change
further
it.
away you are from the target, the more you can kind of get yourself towards there. Also, it makes it so that sometimes I'll be shooting right when I get into a level, which actually skips about 1 second on a bullet animation. So whenever you see the bullet kind of instantly flying out, that's called a flick. Our top runner, Waffle, named that. Waffle, by the way, is just an absolute god at this game. Has been playing it since the demo. Just so good. Nobody else can match it. That was a gold, by the way. So that was a really smooth gallery of heads. And now I'm going to do a route for this level that's actually pretty new and is really, really fancy. Ooh. So there's a lot going on here. First, we start with that instant shot. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. Here, I'm going to hold down what I'm going to use to redirect so that I can do an instant redirect as the shot goes. I was lying, I guess, when I said I wasn't going to talk much. There's a flick. And then we go here. We do that same hold down thing so that we can go here and then get this guy from the back. Really, really fancy. Absolutely beautiful. That I am so happy to have pulled that off cleanly. That's one of the best early game pre-X's I've ever had, just as an aside. So that was really, really clean. X time.
Yeah, the game was getting too fun. So those 9 levels were really fun. And they were like, time to not be fun anymore. Also, I meant to say flashing lights warning. I'm so sorry. That will happen one more time at the end of the mini game. And that is like the only flashing lights the whole run.
Gotcha.
And also, this is the only RNG in the entire run. That's it.
Yes. So the control scheme on this little mini game is left click to turn left and right click to turn right. And it's awful.
I hate X. Yep, it sucks. I'm shocked I got out of that alive. That was horrid.
It's the only RNG in the run.
Hitboxes are
the hitboxes are a mess.
They don't make sense. I'm sorry, Renee. Absolutely love ya. By the way, Renee is the solo dev for this game, pretty much. She made this entire thing happen. Absolutely incredible. She pushed Unity to its absolute limits in this game. You can tell. But X is X. It's gonna give it to you.
But yeah, that wasn't an awful X though. I don't know how
really
it looked on your live split, but not terrible.
Yeah, it was about a 5-second time loss from PB, but PB doesn't have a perfect one. Yeah, I knew that was gonna miss. That was my bad. That's all right. Back to it.
So, breaking contact, we get another new mechanic. We get weak points. So you will see some of these enemies have like purple spots on them. Those are weak points. If you hit 2 enemies in their weak point, then that was a good example of how precise this game is. Like that was so close, but it wasn't.
Yep, I'm trying to be a little too fancy. That's all right. We're gonna chill. Let Happy talk. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So charge redirect. If you hit 2 enemies in the purple weak spot, then you get a charge of redirect that you can use anytime, and that is a full redirect, not just the little white Corona one. You have to hit 2 weak points to get a point, and you can hold, I think, up to 3 charges.
Yeah, up to 3.
Though I don't know if there's any time in the run that you actually get 3 charges stocked up, but it is
sometimes.
possible.
Yeah, Temple if you get them all. But that's I think it. And also, so filled with blood here. We actually need this car at the end here to be close to these 2 guys, so that's why we spent a little time in that cutscene before. Ooh, that was dangerous. Also another gold. That was beautiful. Because the cutscenes at the beginning of the level actually do advance the time inside of the level. So we spent a little time in that cutscene to make sure that that car drove far enough for us to be able to do that really nice shot there. That was such a good example of filled with blood, which I was really nervous about that level, so very happy that worked out. This is a pretty standard level. We are going to use that redirect that we were talking about, just like that. So you can see there, I used one of those nice yellow charges to move freely within the air. And you're going to need to do that up here as well. Up. And it makes the routing much more interesting and makes it so that we can do a lot of things that we wouldn't normally be able to do. It's very good. Very fun. All right, losing track. Any train fans in chat?
Let's go trains.
Let's go trains.
Shout out to trains.
Huge shout out to trains, except for when they're blocking the path of my bullet. Really annoying.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can just shoot through them. There are a couple different ways to deal with that. You can actually shoot the guy's feet as well from underneath the train, but it's pretty precise, so I didn't want to deal with potentially missing that on a marathon run. So I just waited for the right cycle in the cutscene.
Make sure you put those grippers away so they can't be shot from under the train.
Yeah. All right. And then this level is called, in my splits, look ma, no hands, because this level you can literally play with no inputs after you go ahead and move the mouse. So hello, everybody.
Hi, what's up? How you doing, Oscar?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great.
Yeah. Our dad, quote unquote, is on the TV. We don't like him. our entire quest actually in this whole game, we'll talk a little bit about the story, is to dismantle a cult that actually worships us. We had a telekinetic event happen by accident in front of a bunch of people, and then everybody said, "Oh my god, that's amazing. Why are you so cool and telepathic?" And we're like, and telekinetic, and we're like, I don't want that kind of attention. And then we got taken advantage of by our dad to, become the leader of this cult. So our whole mission is to try to actually get revenge, kill him, and make sure the cult dies and never resuscitates. So all the people that we're killing are actually cult members, but they're also not even just cult members, they're like enforcers. So, also here's our quote unquote dad. And hi, Dad. Are you gonna give us a hug? We're gonna go in for a hug. Aw. What you got there?
Hug. Dad hug. Dad hug.
No, I didn't know he was gonna do that.
Beans.
Oh, beans. Well, that's a preview of what's to come.
That's our nice chill breather before things get absurd again, because we get another new power up. We can make our bullet go faster.
And that's what that sort of like speed up to the sound and purpleness is about. They also introduced it because of a new enemy type. Go ahead and explain, I suppose.
Yeah, so we have armored enemies now. So this is less about like making the bullet go fast to save time and more making the bullet go fast because you have to be at full speed to do that and break through the armored enemies' armor.
Yeah, you can also blow up the armored enemies though, which is what we did to one of them in that level.
This is my favorite level title, Open Mic Night in Hell, which is just an
this
open
is
mic
Main
night
Street, actually.
in a college town. Are we at Main Street?
Yeah, we're at Main Street. I know, I'm not that fast, I know. If only.
Dang.
We'll get to Open
totally
Mic
is.
next.
I'm not sure. He might even be done with it by now. But there are a lot of there's a couple amazing runners of this game. It started to become more ran recently. We would absolutely love to see you if you wanted to run this game. Every time a new runner comes to the game, I swear, also I'm talking, not a good idea.
That was really close.
Just
we
give me
get
more time to talk about it.
like routing discovery, so that is super cool. We've lowered the record by minutes just from straight up routing discovery. So if you're a person who likes that kind of thing, there's still a lot of room in this game, I think, for experimentation. There's also just a lot of room for, getting faster. So absolutely come join us. We would love to see you. I'm being more careful on that shot. And there we go.
On the topic of me not knowing what level we were on, it's because I can't read the titles because we are playing in Chinese.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
That's a great question, Oscar. It is not faster. Someone actually just asked in chat. It's not faster. There are bad words in English, and the Chinese translation is much more tame, so it's like the safest, nice language to put on public streams.
Yep, I did a lot of work going through every language that this game comes in. It's a lot, by the way, very accessible, to see which translations were the nicest, and Mandarin won out. I also took Mandarin for a couple years in middle school, so not biased.
Also, like, the font for the level titles in Mandarin is super cool.
I love it. It's
bonus.
really stylish. This whole game is really stylish. Here I had to wait for that little purple corona around my my aiming to know that I was far enough away to do that sort of max charge shot. Got it. Oh, this is no paradise. This is one of my favorite levels. It's just really clean. There's a shot that we're going to do at the beginning here that used to be mandatory. Now it's not, but I still do it for style. So there's a guy behind that curtain. Isn't that cool? And I like that. You used to have to be able to hit his head, actually, for the route, but now there's a better route that doesn't need that, but you still have to shoot the guy. And I don't know. I think it's very stylish. This game is so cool.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you know they're there, you don't need to prove it. Like, the bullet's going to go through the curtain and into the person, whether you know they're there or not.
True.
It tracks.
It tracks.
Oh my god, hardest
Chasing
level.
Lies time. For casuals, this is absolutely one of the hardest levels. It's kind of ludicrous, honestly. Also, oh no!
It's also the hardest level for you. You just died.
Oh no! Oh,
rip
well,
run.
that's the run.
Yep,
all right.
GG.
Oh no. Yeah.
Everyone go home.
Yeah. Well, as Satan, it's not so surprised that I'm a pyromaniac, and if I see fire, I drive into it. But for real, this actually doesn't end the level. It just makes it so that you don't have to dodge these fire things. You can actually press restart right here, and you get into the main part of the level.
Nice.
There you go. We wait for these two cars to be lined up for this routing to work. This routing is like a collab between me and Waffle for this one. And then you can go ahead and predictably know where the rest of the cars are going to be. Hit the gas cans.
As you were saying, like, prior to coming up with this route, it was pretty much
that
like
level.
Very nice.
Yeah.
on the fly, yeah.
Yeah, and if you play it casually, you kind of don't know what to do, right? Like, the cars just kind of go everywhere, and there's guys everywhere, and it's really hard. So it's really nice that we have this route. Makes things a lot easier, a lot better. Our newest runner, one of our newest runners, Umbring, came up with this new route, actually, when she joined. She also makes my emotes. Love her to death. And if you do it fast enough, you actually don't have to go through this guy's telekinetic corona. There I got an extra redirect for marathon safety, so we didn't get that. But that's okay. I knew that was going to happen.
That is also
but yeah,
a new
go ahead and
mechanic that was
explain that
just
new mechanic.
introduced. Yeah, so those yellow, like, orbs surrounding them sometimes allow the enemy to redirect your bullet one time if you enter that circle. So
Yeah, they
as
actually
we are
figured out how to do
telekinetic,
it
so too are some of them.
Exactly.
So like
But they're
it
weak.
kind of
They're not as
glances
cool
off.
as we are. Yep.
But since they can only do it once, we just bounce off of it and then turn around and hit them anyway.
It's a timed thing. It will come back, as you saw in that previous level, Idolatry. So we've used that. We've kind of considered that for some of our routing. And there you will see sometimes later where we actually go through one and then we don't come right back. We actually hit a different enemy and then we go back to that enemy, or hit a different couple of enemies. So, you know, there's some things we can do here. All right, I'm going to focus up for almost pretty much the rest of the run.
Yeah. Yeah, we get now into, I think, what feels most like the late game once we get to this level, Surveil the Dead, which is just like, we are now getting into take all the mechanics that you've learned and put them together into these very complicated puzzles with very, very precise shots and
that timer.
Yeah, it's not a problem for us, but certainly as a casual, you would be kind of nervous about it. I imagine.
I actually, my first success on this level, the timer was at 1.
Oh, wow.
It was, and I probably tried like 40 to 50 times, like trying to figure it out before I finally was like, okay, I know this is the way to do it. And then I had 1 second left on the timer, and I'm like, if that didn't work, I was just gonna close the game for a little bit, honestly.
just recreate the touching grass outside meme.
Yeah,
Just contemplate
like, I need a second.
Yeah, that's understandable. This game is really awesome, but it is super precise, and there's a lot of cycle-based gameplay. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta take a minute, chill out.
It feels so good though when you figure out a path for a level and like solve it the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. This game is so cool. So fun to play casually. I highly recommend it. Also, there's score in this game if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, there's leaderboards. All kinds of things affect the score. You'll see actually on the left, that is the score in the top left, and then the multiplier underneath will like tick down sometimes. So there's all kinds of things that affect your score, like speed and like keeping the multiplier up, obviously.
Where you
and
hit
so in
guys,
addition to doing the speedruns,
changes it too.
Yes. And so, like, in addition to doing speedruns, you can also do score runs of individual levels, and there is a public leaderboard. And the infuriating thing is that the fastest speedrunner is also the best score runner and has like high score
far.
on most levels.
Yeah, he's something different. I'll say.
Yeah.
He has found his game.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that. I cannot remember his name, but the Outer Wilds runner who has record in every single category of that game. Like same energy, where you're like, oh, you're just
those
really
last two
good at
levels
this
were
game.
golds, by the way, and this is the
let's
last
go.
level.
Yay, Temple! We get to use the speed up time glitch one more time, but first, this is a multi-stage level, the only one in the game actually. So we have to take out everybody outside of that big dome force field, and once all of the people outside have been taken out, the force field will go down, and then we can take care of everybody inside of the temple.
Yeah, I'm
Which half
focusing,
of
so you go ahead and talk.
No, you're good. I was just I don't know how most runners feel about it or how it feels in the speedrun, but casually I felt like the outside was way harder. It took me
The
so
inside
long
is
to
way
get
harder
the
as a
outside.
speedrunner.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do some improv.
Let's go improv.
Incoming new route.
Yeah, not great for us to have to do this, but that's okay. Let's figure out what we can do.
Let's go.
Nice. I like how we're all like in super focus mode right now.
I know, I'm so engaged. Fascinated.
Okay. We're gonna find.
I was gonna say, is the bird the answer?
Bird's like, please.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Force field.
Oh,
No
it's a
problem.
force field. Gotcha.
I was on PB pace, so I wanted to try to save that.
Totally fair.
But nope, that's all right. Let's do it again.
Happens.
And we
now
might
we
do a
vibing.
better cycle this time as well, which I wanted to show off. So maybe, maybe we'll get it. We'll see.
Luckily, it's not that long of a run, but Temple is probably where runs are going to go to die if they're going to.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Temple's really hard.
Tempo is really quite difficult to achieve correctly. It's unfortunate because, again, I was on PB pace and we were doing pretty well, but I just missed an important shot that I needed to not miss. Oh, that was a really fast first cycle.
That was
Okay, we're probably
really
going to
good.
be able to get the good cycle here, and I can at least show off the trick I wanted to show off.
Ooh, nice.
It's new. This is a new, well, it's not a trick, but it's a new route where you go so fast on that beginning part that this car doesn't move behind the thing here, and you can actually kill the person inside, and I actually did it too fast.
Oh no!
Oh,
I did it too fast, so we're gonna back up. And that's when we hit the weak points, everybody. So that you can use your redirects and do backups. That backup I was ready for.
Nice.
Because I have gone too fast before on that one. So we're okay. But I did get to show off how you could do it that fast. If you let the car go just a little bit more and do the same thing, then it'll blow up the guy in the house as well. And hopefully we're going to be able to show off last trick too.
Yeah, Satan confirmed just too good.
Too good.
yeah. So you may
Alright.
remember we can make time go regular speed
Yes.
by pausing after an animal, which Satan got. Let's go. So now this whole cutscene plays at regular speed when normally it would be slowed down, which
That's
saves
time.
about 20 seconds.
GG's on time there.
Yeah, so basically, like, when you do the speed up bullet, it makes the whole world go faster. We figured out that those images that are flashing towards you and your bullet going towards the person that you're killing there is real space. That's real time. So if you go ahead and hit that bird and you do the glitch, then you actually skip through that, and that saves upwards of 20 seconds. It depends on how fast you execute it. But yeah, that's a beautiful skip. I'm glad I got to show off a good tempo, even though the the first attempt did make it so that we didn't PB, but we were PB place going in the final level, so I would say that's a pretty clean run, all things considered. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love this run. I'm going to go ahead and show the final cutscene as we say goodbye. Thank you so much for being on with me, Happy. Also, this final cutscene will explain the little flower count we got on here. Yeah. We killed the cult leader. Oh, goody, the cult's dead. Wait a minute.
No more cult.
Wait a minute. Are we the new leader? Oh, that's not what we wanted. Oh. But yeah, this game was recently shown off at TwitchCon, GDQX. Shout outs to Bobby Berm. And yeah, we are showing it off here tonight. So I hope that if you like this run, you come try it out and you watch that run as well as, obviously, I hope you enjoyed this one. Come join our Discord. It is linked on the SRC page. The SRC page will give you the auto splitter, which you do need to run the game, but it's really easy to set up. Trust me, as a person who never did an auto splitter until this, it's perfectly easy to set up. There's a really nice video playlist for every route, for every level. It's really accessible. Come talk to us. Come run this game. I really love it. I think it's so cool. Thank you for being here with me, Happy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for having me on, Asuka. I love Express Lane, love Hotfix. This was fantastic. Thank you so much once again. I've been Satan herself, or Satan isn't herself on Twitch. Thank you for having me. Peace.
And then Happy, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, Happy by 3 on Twitch, all one word.
Yay. All right, everybody,
come check out our streams.
Definitely. GG's to our wonderful duo here and the multitude of gold splits. Hello, pop off.
Yeah, let me see how many I got real quick. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that run. So that was actually really solid. If we hadn't failed double, it'd be like that. Yeah.
All right, friend. Yeah, all right, friends, we have one more run to close out this wonderful pew 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 type episode. But before we get that, we're going to take a quick break, so sit tight and we'll be back with our final run of... Hello again for our final run of today's episode of Express Lane. Before we head over to that, I have one quick thing to say. As always, if you missed out on any of our shows or events, make sure you check out the VODs over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And for those of you that are over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick watching us, hi, you should watch us live. Head over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick and check out all the amazing things that you can see there. And again, live, like this show right now. We're live. At least I think, otherwise this would be some weird meta stuff going on. But we are here for our final run of the night, which is Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC with B-Dud5. So take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm B-Dud5. I'm joined here by my good old friend Greedy Old Ka.
Hey, everybody.
And we've got Burning Shores DLC on story difficulty today. It's going to be a good 50-minute run. We've got a lot to show in the run. We did show this last year, but since last year we've had a lot of new interesting out of bounds glitches found, so we're gonna see the run gets spiced up.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and anything you want to add, Greedy, before we get started?
Oh yeah, just it's a pretty full run, action-packed, lots of travel, lots of precise platforming, lots of vertical movement, like B-Dud mentioned, some pretty neat out-of-bounds tricks, not to mention a fair bit of combat on some of the stronger machines in the game as well. It is story difficulty, so that combat is quick, but we'll explain why that is exactly as we go through. So, but yeah, a few things, I think, before we start, where there's some things you're going to probably do for setup, and then we've got to go talk to Silence. So.
Yes, so runs, because this is a DLC that's only available to you after you beat the main story, we allow runs to start with any gear that you have or any effects that you want to apply to yourself. So we have all of our New Game Plus weapons. We have a a full Valor Surge that we're going to use on this first combat fight, I can triple notch my arrows to deal extra damage on my first shot. I can take a little potion to give myself some extra damage when I fully draw a shot. So now I'm pretty ready and prepared. So all we have to do is talk to Silence, and time will start when we skip this cutscene.
There's a fair bit of dialogue skip here at the beginning as well, but yeah.
Oh, Lance Reddick.
Yeah, I skipped it beforehand, so we only have to deal with the cutscene.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay. To the burning shores then.
Proceed. Look at you prepping.
Okay. Here we go. So we can start in 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So B-Dud's using Valor Surge, like you said here, the Chain Burst, which allows one hit to do damage to multiple enemies. And it can chain several times as well, depending on the group. So the RNG on the right there with the Burrower is not so great, getting both of the Wide Maws and then 2 of the Burrowers in the back with a single shot, though. So
This way. Follow me.
yeah, that can be really fast if you get some good RNG on the spawn, but
I'll have to take my
otherwise
skip
it's
to get to the
generally like,
settlement.
20, 30
What
second
were you
fight.
doing out here anyway?
Yeah, pretty fast, but
I just need to attach this
because it's the very first fight in the game, it's usually you usually want to reset if it's not
Gonna
perfect.
get your head back at the settlement.
Yeah,
worked
it's
together.
very easy to just
Works well
start
enough.
over again. So.
That'll do it.
And now everyone's favorite mode of
Skip's good to
transportation
go.
in this DLC, the skiff.
The skiff.
Oh, we love the skip.
Oh,
we do
yeah.
love the skiff.
Look at this magnificent
boat. We found some fun things you can do with the skiff.
There is. There's
you can drag it up on land as much as you'd like.
You could there's a funny thing that you can do where if you get a snap maw to go underneath the skiff, it actually glitches it out and you can like send the skiff flying up into the air.
Yeah, it's like a launch. Yeah, there's a snap maw launch. Yeah, we call them skiff-nanigans. They're the best kind of shenanigans.
How long have your people been
So
here?
there's a mandatory scene here. We're sitting on the boat and Seika's driving, so we're gonna head over to the main settlement over here, Fleet's End. And we get to see kind of what happens with the tower that we're headed to and things like that. But there's we'll skip a cutscene when we get there, and then there's some travel along with some kind of checkpoint pickups along the way and things like that. But we're headed to the tower up there with the big flashing light at the top of it.
Sounds like
Also, not me immediately wanting to boot up my PS5 and check out some of these skiff shenanigans.
It'll be fine.
I don't know if
Just follow my lead.
I think B-Dot has
and
some
let me do
clips
the
on his
talking.
channel.
Oh yeah, I do. I have
if I recall,
clips
yeah.
of me like freaking out doing them.
Those fun times.
I'm invested.
Yeah. I tried way too hard to try to find a way to make them worthy to make it into the speedrun. Never could make it happen. Yeah, they're just too far out of the way to go to a herd of snap maws, so.
Although there are some interesting things with the skiff in the run, like we do some fast travel stuff that manipulates the use of the skiff and things like that. So it is very important to use it quite a bit, actually, as we get around the run. So you won't be disappointed.
Look, for now, I'm down.
I forget which armor is Aloy wearing, because that is not one I use, but I kind of want to now.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it's one that you get in the DLC here, and then I applied a blue dye to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't recognize. Oh, I love it.
But yeah, it's one of the legendary outfits that you can buy from one vendors in this settlement.
Explore a little other skiff first.
It's really nice. I love it. It's my go-to outfit for Burning Shores.
Okay.
So we're gonna we're making our way to the Bilegut here. One thing I want to note is that we do have to get a campfire on our way here because it's gonna help us later just reduce travel time and stuff.
Yeah, it's not too far off the beaten path here, so.
And we have to be 40 meters away from a campfire to discover it. So there we go. We got it.
And then we get our first look in the DLC at the newest large machine to fight, which is the Bilegut, a giant frog. So
I was really happy This is slightly off topic, but I've been playing the new Astrobot, and I was so amazed to see the Vile Guts make like a Easter egg appearance in that game.
Yeah, the Horizon level with all the machines kind of representing the machines in this game.
Big ugly machine alert.
So we just have to take this down, and then all the sting spawns go down with it. Then we have to wait for Seika. There are some times where she can get a little stuck. Companion speedruns are that way when they're an NPC.
And of course, because this is story difficulty, and because I have a new game plus sharp shot bow with maxed out like coils with that maximize my critical hit damage, that Vile Gut went down without a problem.
Yeah, so what we do is we take the sharp shot bow and you upgrade it all the way for all the slots, and then you can put 5 elite critical coils in it, which you get from the DLC. There's a duplication glitch you can use, but if you do 5 playthroughs of the DLC, you can also get them. It gives you extra critical hit damage as well as a higher critical hit rate. So we do something like an 85% critical hit rate with a bunch of added extra critical damage. So there's a whole lot of things, even on ultra hard, that just go down in a single shot if you get the right amount of damage on them. So
It's what the Quen would call a...
So we're going up the tower now, which has some very quick and precise parkour.
Pretty much the whole way up.
Yeah, it's another one of those early reset points if you mess up a jump.
Especially this one.
Yeah, and I got
Nice
it
work.
instantly. Let's go.
Way to go. So what we did there, Vita jumped up into that corner, and that gives him a checkpoint for a couple of floors up. And by jumping back down, this part of the game doesn't allow you to go back down the tower. It will respawn you back up, thinking basically like you fell down. But it is actually faster to do that than to restart from save at the checkpoint because it's a faster reload time. So that's why we went up and then fell back down 2 floors.
Sometimes you gotta go down to go up.
You gotta override that. No.
Oh shoot. I'm
You
being
forgot to
dumb.
override.
Hey! Happens
That's all right.
sometimes. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
Trying to get
going
around,
too
thinking of the
fast.
skip.
That's all.
Well, what we do is we override here, and then you do the skip. So I think it was just like just missed. But that causes this this machine to come down for us to fight.
We can't see the target yet, so I'm gonna do a tear blast arrow to explode it out.
That little canister, yep.
And then we'll just wait.
Hide from a few shots that knock down some of the barriers and the floors here. And there's 2 more.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Nice.
Talk to Seika. And this is actually, this fight is where you pick up your crit coil as well. So
Yeah, just from that that machine there.
But give him... Okay, you know...
The key to all of our runs.
Pretty much now, yeah.
It's not like other Quen.
It completely
When
changed
burning-
story difficulty and ultra hard difficulty. The go-to strategy in both.
The difference between the times and the runs really came down as well when we started adding things like low health strats to it and stuff like that. So there's some pretty unique play style in ultra hard to play at really low health all the time because you can die very easily if you're not quick at the fights. But the way we load out the sharp shot bow, it just takes a little practice and
Hold on back there.
we rode through the game in no time. So we got the fall glitch, huh?
Yeah, sometimes the game, if you talk to Seika too quick there, it doesn't put you on the sun wing and you just fall to your death pretty much.
No.
So we're doing a unique trick here that's Burning Shores exclusive, where if you go to like a certain shelter, you spawn a skiff somewhere in the world, and then you can fast travel to that skiff. So you'll see us a lot of the times get specific campfires just so that we can fast travel to the campfire, and it'll spawn a skiff randomly somewhere in the world for us to take advantage of.
Once we get into the ruin, we might find data that your focus model isn't able to
We
make
have
sense
a new out of bounds here
Observatory out of bounds.
that saves roughly a minute of time.
I'm not
I
seeing
think.
another way into the
Yeah,
ruin.
it's quite significant.
We should head for the beach.
Shout out to
There's just a little
Driver.
hole
That's
here.
been he's kind of like the main go-to guy for the Burning Shores runs, and he's found a lot of these out of bounds glitches. He's really good at it. but yeah.
Yeah, so you just go through a little hole in the wall. And there is a couple of spots you kind of have to touch on your way out. From what I understand, I've never actually performed this, but I have watched quite a few people do this. And then you head up to this little blue light area, and you jump in and get a checkpoint. Inside. Oh, try again. Just kind of, there is a spot to land on. Here we go.
Got it.
You got to get the dialogue there,
Nice.
yeah. And obviously you can't see what you're doing. It's a little tricky, right? So
Yeah.
then you restart from save and you spawn in right next to a spot you need to examine. So,
But yeah, the out of bounds, like it's very hard to traverse everything, and like because so many things load in and load out, you kind of have to just kind of know through practice where you're going. But for that out of bounds, I use that blue light as like as my guiding light. It's like I'm a bug attracted to it, pretty much.
the Sunwing certainly is.
Another blister.
I was about to say, I love that you can still have your Sunwing out of bounds, like it's no big deal.
Yeah, there's some in the main game as well, like when you're in Thebes or any cauldron where you can get out of bounds and underneath, you can fly your mount underneath all of it, anywhere on the map really. But, so you saw Vita throw some spike traps here. Those took out the clamber jaws. Now we're just kind of waiting on Seika to fire some handholds. And Seika is going to fire. Excellent. Just a little slow, that's all.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but this part is AI dependent, so depending on whether Seika's feeling like she wants to fire fast or not, this section can go like 10 seconds faster or not.
Yeah, so the many a run has just been reset here based on how fast she moves, or sometimes she can soft lock as well, so. Doesn't happen as often, I think, as of late, but also I haven't seen folks run this one for a bit, so. But yeah, she's your average NPC companion.
Hi there.
So we're gonna pre-place all of these holds ahead of time, but we have another Flamer Jaw fight here where they're gonna sneak out, but we can just spawn camp them with some more spikes. So I placed down 2 just to make sure I cover my bases pretty well.
So we don't miss, yeah. So there'll be another one over here.
Watch out.
There's a
More
third
clamber
that comes
jaws.
down on the side up these handholds.
My turn to shred the machines.
Oh.
You think you can do better than me?
And he's quick.
That clamber
Oh,
jaw
did
just
that
said
guy?
no.
The other ones I think are good, yeah.
That's all of them.
You tied
Yep,
my
there we go.
blister record.
Nice.
And the restart from save there is a small time save that just gets Seika moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, she'll be over by the handholds that we fired into the side just to makes her run from the other side of the battlefield there a bit shorter.
Seika. There's okay, thank you.
She's a little sluggish today.
Yeah. She doesn't wanna I mean she's fine, but you know,
Sorry.
sometimes
Something I needed to do.
she can
You were talking before I left?
she can be a little slow, yeah.
Good question.
So there was a comment in chat earlier that I figured I'd start that war in chat. So I've noticed you are Team No Headgear. I'm also a fan of Team No Headgear. I'm curious to see what the divide is in chat right now between headgear versus no headgear.
No headgear supremacy.
Wait, are we all no headgear, or is Greedy holding out?
Oh, I'm no headgear.
no headgear.
Absolutely, yeah. No, there aren't any in this game that really look good. Some of them are, I guess, borderline okay, but just not enough to keep them on all the time.
Maybe there's some.
Aloy has such great hair. I don't know why you'd want to cover it up.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The physics, all of it in this game, it's so well done. I don't know why you'd ever put
just look at that hair.
Where he worked. Let's see what we can find. That relic.
We have found the headgear. We have found Team Both.
A gift from a so-called friend. A reminder to always watch your back.
It's like for me, like I tend to wear the Awesome armor just because Erend is probably my favorite character in in both games combined.
Oh, such a great voice actor too.
John Hopkins is, because I believe he was in Hitman, I think. Just fantastically well done. But yeah, the headgear for the Osram armor leaves a lot to be desired.
There's a recent entry.
It's like a good, the very simple stuff. Yeah, the square on your forehead and things like that. Yeah.
Though, yeah, Sam Witwer doing Landra in this DLC, fantastic choice for a character.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, they did a great job of just the selfish bad guys in this, like, in both the main game and this one.
It's a shame we have to revive that.
It's like
I would love to stay, Lonja, but we gotta get prepared for a really big fight up here. So I'm gonna wait by this door.
Arguably the worst fight in Horizon video games.
Yeah, I hate flying machines with a passion in both Zero Dawn and this game. Like
rightfully so. Those are
So we get Glint Hawks, Sky Drifters, and Sunwings in this fight.
Yeah, for some reason they thought it would be a good idea to put 10 flying machines in one fight here for us to beat. They think these guys would help us get some aerial shots, but no, it's not going to help.
We have come up with some strategies. So Chain Burst again, and using some of these spawn points where we know they're going to show up in order to try to do damage to multiple at a time. In Ultra Hard, you'd see like more of this freezing strat as well. Nice thing about status impacts is it puts them on the ground, so you can, stop their movement and stuff like that.
More coming.
So we kill a few Glint Hawks and Sky Drifters, and then we'll get some Sunwings to spawn.
Hopefully. There we go.
Hopefully. Yeah. It's definitely there. Nobody wants to come over here is another story.
Where is this? You see, where is he? I don't know. He could be anywhere.
Right? It's like if I just fly right above Aloy, she would have no idea.
She'll never see me. And he's right.
Where are you hiding? Got you. The data was sent to a
So yeah, that fight went decent, but it definitely could have gone better. It's really nice when to try to utilize their spawns, because that's the only time you can get anything consistent out of that fight is the very first second. So I shot a few more arrows than I really was expecting to, but that's okay.
So one of the things we just did here was after that, we went straight to the Chain Scrape settlement on the map, and then fast traveled to a skiff nearby. And that actually, what I think we understand, kind of puts Aloy on a skiff, but you're supposed to go on another skiff with Seika as part of a cutscene here. So you start over here, and we're going to see Seika come out over there. So you can have skip race. So you're supposed to be sitting on that one with her on another ride, but now we start on one that we fast traveled to. For some reason, the game does this. But something we can do here is, one, mess around with Seika, and then two, go pick up some campfires that we can use.
Yeah, I should actually go do stuff.
But this is something where did you find this, B-Dud? I don't remember.
I was part of the discussion when it was found, I think. I don't think I found this. It was somebody in Discord was like, this weird thing happened to me where I was able to get off my skiff. So then I'm like, oh, let's investigate this. And then I realized that when you were able to get off the skiff, you could fast travel to the other skiff and still drive it around, and Seika would just drive her skiff on her own. So
yeah. So we come over here and get a campfire again for later use, and then we can go and meet Seika, back at our desired location. So.
But yeah, I always like to, we have plenty of time here. This is a very cool strat to do in Burning Shores 100%, because you can do a lot of stuff while you're waiting on Seika, but the only thing we have to do is get the campfire. Which means that I can have some boat shenanigans with Seika before I have to actually go get that campfire.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a fair bit of extra time. And so we can get a little bit away. We stop and wait here. and the game will kick you off when Seika departs her skiff, but you can hop right back on here.
Yep. So you don't want to go past 230 meters, otherwise Seika like despawns. So you want to like stop at a certain point and then you can go after.
Doesn't look like there's
like
a way
Gritty said
past
when
it.
she reaches the beach.
There's some kind of device on the.
Scan. We get a cutscene.
So if she despawns, where does she respawn?
Back at Fleet's End where she started her boat ride. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so we
if
gotta
you
do
mess
the
it
boat
up,
ride
it's
again.
quite a bit of time loss.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we have 2 control notes that we have to override, and there's some giant frogs guarding them, as you can see. So in story mode, we'll just kill these guys to make sure they don't interfere.
That took 2 shots more than I expected. And now we gotta kind of rely on Seika to come. Okay, well, Seika has to shoot this thing whenever we're gonna kill this guy too, I guess. Usually he's far away enough that I don't have to get triggered by him, but oh, come on, you big. Okay.
Now we can focus on the
Well,
generators.
that took a little longer than expected, but we're all good. Seika, come on, please, please.
So this you say that and Seika just
spot
turns her
always-
back.
Yeah, she does not want to cooperate right now. Here, let's see if we can get you a little bit over here. So this part is just really finicky sometimes with making her get in the correct position. Okay, there, she should be good now, I think.
Floor's all yours.
Yeah, okay, she's good. Whew. Yeah, this is the part that we always kind of curse about, I guess.
One down. Now for the other.
But it's even worse in Ultra Hard just because it takes so much longer to kill the Bile Guts on Ultra Hard. I mean, it would take like 4 arrows if you're hitting precise spots, maybe, I think. So it could add like 25 seconds to the run if you're trying to kill the Bile Guts. So we try to avoid them. But that means we have very precise skips where we just fall down and have to override the control panel and kind of trick Seika to spawn in a very specific place.
Relieved.
But yeah, luckily this is story, so I don't have to worry too much about that at the moment.
I get it.
We're gonna be trying to do another new out of bounds that was discovered earlier this year.
Only met her recently.
Which I'm a little bit new to, but I equipped the Spectre Gauntlet, and this is gonna help me get out a little bit.
Point is,
It's very precise a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very specific spot
But
here.
it's nice of you to say.
There we go.
Ooh, nice.
Another fun out of bounds.
And this is might be a little bit hard to explain, but I guess the way I'd explain it is that we have a series of checkpoints that they're gonna check, and it doesn't matter which order that we get them in, really. So some areas we have to go through to load them in to kind of like get a checkpoint, but overall we're gonna get some checkpoints halfway through and then towards the end, and then we're gonna restart. I need to despawn this area so I can bypass it. We're gonna fast travel back to a campfire and get all the... Oh, shoot. And get the checkpoints that we missed out of bounds. And basically, we'll be able to RFS once we go back and get all the checkpoints, and it'll just send us forward past doors and waiting on dialogue in a lot of places. So I'm gonna go down here. So you saw a couple times there that the place loaded in before I could get inside. So it could be a little bit precise to get that in one full swoop.
Normally, fine.
Yeah.
It's a warning, I think. For Radiation. Something.
So this is like the end point of the level.
Now, but I better check
We're
the
already
ship.
here. We have to scan 3 things on this. After we scan them, that's when we're gonna fast travel back
Source of the radiation.
outside
why
and
they
get all
have
the
prototype
intended checkpoints in the correct order,
Must be how I'll get the
but
lift he needs.
skipping all the dialogue and waiting points with RFSs, like I mentioned.
Working again. To build the ship.
That is wild.
Storage. Launcher's followers? There can't be enough space for all.
Got some clever folks.
MSP again.
Found like ways to make things a little bit faster.
Yeah, it's like I'm definitely not someone that has like it finds it easy to find skips and glitches and out of bounds tricks like this, but it's like just knowing that people can find this is absolutely amazing in any game.
Yeah. The out of bounds can be. I was saying, maybe a precise on how you access them and things too. We have them in the main game as well, where water during the game. So your movement underwater is played a little finicky. So make sure what you need to do. You have to have patience and precision for a
Okay,
fair
I've
bit
seen
of it
enough.
as far as
Right.
what's nice about it. Like it's so realistic.
Maybe someone will be willing to help us out.
I should see what Londra's been telling them then. The journal.
Does keep it very interesting. So Vita hit all those
Okay, I've
checks.
seen enough.
Hitting some of the other things as part of the story allows him to start from save
Okay, I've seen enough.
back in the other.
Yep, so this is where we scanned with the Sunwing.
And so usually you would come through here after doing all of that stuff you did before this, and then scan that, talk to Seika, and we'd start this fight. But it was able to come in, do all that other stuff, and then head in and finish it off. Which actually saves, a fair bit of time. So we don't fight any of these enemies. You generally use smoke bombs. And they can leave you alone just long enough for you to override these nodes.
Yeah, thank God for smoke bombs. Oh my God, I got shot in the air.
I do love her animation when you get sniped. She just falls head first into the crowd.
I will say playing this difficulty the first time in Ultra Hard, or this room in Ultra Hard, oh my god, if I didn't have smoke bombs, I don't even want to know how bad that would have been.
The human enemies are so much harder in this game than they were in Zero Dawn. Yeah, the way that they outfitted all the armor as separate plates and things, and pretty much late game, everyone's got a giant helmet on, and there's a fair bit of work to get them down.
Yeah, at least the big Thunderjaw has like 30 weak points that you can hit.
Yeah.
Girl is like, yeah, we heard your complaints and concerns from the first game. Here you go, have fun.
Take this.
Tear it. Complain now.
Although I will say I have an elite arrow right here, which will it will pierce through armor. So use it specifically on this big armored guy.
Take a look at that zenith weapon.
But it costs so much resources to craft those arrows. It's insane. Like even if I have my pouch upgraded as much as I possibly can, and I still run out of ammo in runs sometimes. So sometimes we use a skill where we dismantle traps that we have in our hotbar, and by doing that, it gives us some resources back without having to go back to our stash. Because, of course, going back to your stash would be slow.
Seika and I have to find
There's a little bit of menuing, and then there's always that animation of filling the circle before any interaction or whichever. So it's like when you want to take a fair bit of stuff, it takes some time. But shout out to Marin, who showed us the very obvious in a run she did one day, and we're just like, why haven't we thought of that? So yeah, absolutely amazing.
It seems like the Quinn have some thinking to do. I hope they figure it out and head back to Fleet's
So I've
End.
always loved that the slides are Aylar's like fastest way to run, and just the concept of her sliding up a hill It just,
or up a flight of stairs.
like,
Or
I'm like, all right, well, you know what? You
Hey,
do
if
that.
it works, it works.
It works.
yep, Zero Dawn head rolling, and now
Yep.
we get slide canceling. Yeah. And for those who don't know what we're doing there, you run and slide with square, and on the way down in your slide, you can start running again, and that will allow you to chain another slide into it. You can only do 2. She won't like keep doing it together, but she'll kind of do the full second slide, and then you get up and do it over again.
So the next objective that we have to do is to meet Seika at the beach. But before we do that, we're gonna get some shelters and checkpoints because we're gonna utilize the same thing that we used earlier in the run, where if we fast travel to a campfire, it'll spawn skiffs around the world for us to fast travel to. So I fast traveled to this shelter, and bada bam, a magic skiff here is right next to the objective.
Let's get going.
Yeah, right next to
Time to
Seika.
disembark.
Quite convenient.
Yeah, cover that whole section of the map without having to fly over it.
Seika seems better.
So now we're gonna find a way to override a water wing, which is a new flying machine from the Burning Shores that allows you to both fly in the air and go underwater. So
I need your help.
and that'll allow us to get to a new location on the map that's guarded by another one of those towers that we took down at the very beginning of the run.
Yeah.
And so what Obita is doing a repel point here in order to cancel some dialogue that would play and prevent you from, moving forward with the objective. So saving some time with the dialogue cancel.
Yeah, I remember when the DLC first launched, we would just fly
like this.
to this location, and then all of a sudden we realize you can cut off the dialogue because you're not allowed to fast travel during dialogue ever in this game.
At least not the major story parts, yeah.
Yeah, so we're always looking for ways to see if you can if there's a way to override it, or there's things that you can do while people are talking to maximize
to get them to stop
everything. So we need 2 water wing parts down here. Hopefully I dropped in the right spot. I did.
That's good, yeah.
Aloy's a little bit the wrong direction. There we go.
We're gonna pick up a couple of parts, wing membrane, a ballast regulator that we need for making an override, and then we'll head off and find a water wing. Or after crafting it, we'll head off to override it.
Time to go.
Yeah. We gotta wait for Aloy to start the dialogue with Beta,
Beta, I've got
and then we can magically cut that dialogue off.
workbench. Time to finish the
That dialogue, for some reason, you can just cut off once it starts. Nowhere else in the game does that really work, and it bothers me because I so desperately want it to work in other parts of the game.
Yeah, it's just a fast travel where it's like nowhere else. Like you can't call your mount or do anything else while they're talking. So it's really kind of annoying.
It's so
there's a whole bunch of points right after a fast travel where you have to be calling your mount right away before any dialogue starts.
Figure out what he's doing.
Yeah. This DLC has a whole lot of special conditions. It's set away from the main map, and it has I guess it has extra features and coding involved, but the main game is usually pretty consistent with how everything works. But this DLC just, it has so much more out of bounds. It has so much more the dialogue just works differently. It can be overridden, and just so much stuff.
To avoid the tower's fire.
So now we're on our new trusty water wing. It maneuvers a bit better. It kind of dives down a little bit faster, but roughly the same speed as regular Sunwing for the most part. We are on story difficulties, so we're just gonna own
tank every single one of these things.
The anti-air missiles are just little sparklers.
And
pretty much,
as you've seen Vita doing the barrel rolling, I don't know if we've explained, but you may ask yourself why we're rolling all the time. It is actually faster to roll on a Sunwing or a water wing. turning it, a little bit and then rolling in the direction you're headed moves you a fair bit faster. I think it saves in the main game run, which is about an hour and 36 minutes right now. It saves a little over a minute and 20 seconds, I think, over the life of the run. So it's pretty good.
I think the metric. Oh, okay. I think the metric is about saves 5 seconds for every minute of barrel rolling that you do.
Looking for some kind of
So, little nice time save. The true reason why I do it is just so that I can make Sika sick, though.
Productions. One of his businesses.
Wow. She loves it.
For all
It's
the
like a
times that
roller
she's
coaster.
off luck. So we're gonna skip a fair bit of running around and just jump over this fence. Found some hitboxes, some neat little wall jump tricks, and head right over.
I know better. A real faster.
Yeah, sometimes you might. There's been certain tech that's been developed over the life of this game, including after the DLC. There's been stuff that's been reworked for the main game. One thing that we got this that was discovered sometime after the DLC is that you can do these like wall jump cancels to get extra height. So right when I skipped that fence earlier into Pangea Park, I used basically I did a wall jump and then I aimed out of it right after I performed the wall jump, and that gave me enough height to clear the wall completely. I'm gonna do it right here also to clear this wall. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things, I think, in this game. It just feels so nice to do.
Yeah, and anytime you aim when Aloy's in the air, you kind of arrest her momentum in the direction she's going, and you can get some control over it. And some of the things you can do, like a combination of like a wall jump, using a heavy attack, which will kind of launch you upwards a little bit off the wall jump, and then aiming immediately to get Aloy to go in kind of whatever direction you need her to afterwards. It's really nice for getting up on hitboxes we couldn't reach in that before, so we can get over invisible walls and things like that as well. So it even came in handy for any percent runs. In the tutorial, B-Dud found some pretty neat out of bounds tracks to get you through the tutorial in about 10 minutes. So
yeah, I guess it's the tutorial is this this kind of individual level off the main game. So it kind of works like Burning Shores, where there's a lot of out of bounds that you can set in it. But it's only like this. It's only a 10-minute section at the start of any percent. But it is really cool how it works.
And some nail clippings.
The out of bounds are fun there too, because things are very set. They're very scripted. So like the sun moves depending on where you are in the level. So you'd be running in the out of bounds and the sun is just zooming across the sky and the shadows are changing and stuff like that. It's really fun to watch.
DNA samples in that device.
Vita examining some things inside here, figuring out that he's collecting DNA basically from these people. Trying to pull a vent early here.
Yeah, the footing for that is a little bit precise, but it saves you like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a neat trick, that's for sure. But really what you're doing is kind of using the time that Seika's talking there about what you just examined to open up the vent and make your way down. So you can just run in, that way you don't have to pull cast after the dialogue.
Chair. That console could be useful though.
We find Landra's creepy lab.
It's shorted. New battery.
Where we find out he's brainwashing people.
Yeah, lots of doors to open.
There was a patch that closed this door on us, right here.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yep.
One of the most... it's one of those random things that you wouldn't realize is like patched in, really, unless you're specifically speedrunning and you're like, hey, this is time lost now. What the hell?
Yeah. What have you done?
It's
I'm so mad at you,
like,
Gorilla.
It's like, what was the reason behind closed doors that door of all doors had to get shut?
Yeah, I'm known for complaining about when the PC Forbidden West came out. There's a door in the base that's always closed now. But rightfully so, there were problems with like things loading in at the launch of the game on console. So especially if you played on PS4, the base floor would just disappear on you and you'd like fall through. That happened to me all the time when I ran on PS4 when I first started the game. And then they patched it, but that meant the door had to stay closed all the time on
All
PS4.
right, battery's in place.
Oh, fair.
Now to cycle the power
Yeah,
again.
because it just is enough time for the game to be like, okay, now we can load it in.
There we go. Power's back. I hope it reset.
All right, so moving the battery.
Hey, the door just unlocked.
Examining all the things.
Yeah, so now we just wait here. This is a good time to actually refill some of my ammo.
Yeah, so I have a fairly
What is
long
this?
brainwashing sequence to listen to.
The bird is a
Bird is
fish.
a fish. Respond.
Respond.
I'll say the cutscene shortly after this, where the acting scene. Oh my god, I was not
Yeah.
expecting that, and just I would love to be in the booth going. So we need you to overact.
I've got a feeling this is
acting.
Mistress. He's brainwashing them.
Yeah, I may or may not be a fan of this series. FYI. Don't mind me.
I don't blame you.
Yep.
That's so good.
Oh, we have people who do regular hundo runs of, especially Burning Shores, but the 100% categories of, we've got quite a few runners now, people who work on that. So
How long? What is the Hundo run for Burning Shores?
it's under 2 hours now. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's
In the
almost 1:30 actually. Yeah.
Feels like Laundra.
yeah, it's like as fast as main game. I want to say you can do hundo and at the same time you can do main game on story.
She said volcanoes, so it wasn't
yeah.
enough for Laundra to build a ship that'll irradiate
Shout out to
thousands when
B-Dud,
it
Doc,
launches.
ISO,
He wants to
folks
rule
who
over his own
run
brainwashed
hundo,
world like a
Alice,
god.
actual use.
We have to put a stop.
Driver has
to it. And get my sister away from him before it's too late.
the
Drive-
Hundo world record for Burning Shores actually.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I would have done
Oh, that's
without him.
right. And driving, who I think was in chat earlier.
Hero would be in the top 2. But Walter
There's lots of good runners, and we've got a lot of resources for folks to. For the main game, there's actually I did a video series for the New Game Plus story and Ultra Hard main game run, so that's on YouTube at our Horizon Speedrun channel. But we also have tons of resources on the Discord and things like that at the Horizon Speedrun Discord, so which you'll find on the speedrun.com channel as well.
And don't mind me while I just take down pretty much the hardest enemy of this DLC in one shot.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Back
Yeah.
the bugs.
Yeah.
A little free shot first. Yeah.
So a little bit too what
Free
the
shot, a little
strategy
sharp
there
shot.
was to we use a crossbow and triple notch the arrows so that we can kind of instantly freeze the apex slaughter spine. And frost in any Horizon game is just overpowered, makes machines just take a lot more damage. So
yeah,
I did
you
that.
ignore armor and all kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, with my this really powerful sharp shot bow aiming at one of the best weak points on the slaughter spine. Yeah, it just
drops it.
Yeah, not much he could do.
And so we're kind of cutting off the whole, scoot around away from the corruptors and all that stuff that you would normally be doing in this section by just climbing around the edge.
So for those that might not play Horizon, or might not really pay attention much to the weak points, you had mentioned for the Thunder Jaw, there's 30 some weak points, and honestly accurate. Are there weak points that are weaker than others, or is it just weak point is weak point is weak point?
Yes. So Horizon usually they spend a good amount of time making sure the components are all different, that you can take advantage of some of them. Some of them react to certain elemental arrows and not. So one might be charged by you hitting it with a fire arrow, so then it catches on fire and then causes an explosion to erupt around it and other machines in a few seconds. So depending on what you use, or it can bring about all different elemental states, or some are even just there might be a precise shot on its eye, or its parts that takes double or 3 times as damage as any other components do. So
Yeah, lots of the time in the ultra hard run, we're aiming for an eye shot on machines. We're aiming like with the Thunderjawed, you're aiming for kind of the exposed forehead is a very weak point on it. So like there's some really good ones, but an eye shot in this game is generally you're guaranteed a crit.
Gotcha. So we have the big bad boy here, the big horse. But there's not much that we can do, so this is just like 2 minutes of us chilling while the horse gets into position.
Okay.
Yeah, this part you can take shots at the heat exchanger here, but it won't do anything. We're just gonna wait anyway. Like it's not gonna go on to the next scene. So
yeah,
just very cinematic this fight. The tricky parts come in the later phases.
Yeah, what I think is one of the highlights of this entire run is on the last phase with the horse. It's an attack where he brings down all 4 of his arms around you in this close cut-off area, and you have to take down every arm one by one. But we do a strat where we try to take down multiple arms in one go, which is pretty significant because each arm takes about 20 seconds to do. So we're saving like it's like 40-ish seconds to a minute, I'd say.
There is a way to get all 4 at the same time, but it very often leads to a soft lock. So we don't do that.
Usually it's like 66% of the time it'll soft lock, so.
Yeah, it's very prevalent, so it's something we just avoid doing, I think, at this point, most people. But getting 3 of them and then 1 is kind of the go-to.
Gotcha.
I see a strat for that, yeah.
After each phase, he does that electric explosion, and it's a little bit faster to RFS after each one. It's also nice to RFS because it makes sure that this leg always comes down at the right spot. So that we can climb it before you actually are supposed to. But because we're climbing this before you're supposed to, it also brings up a whole other range of issues where you can possibly fall off.
Yeah, Aloy may not grab something and just fall down, or she won't go and jump to the vent that we have to break open here. So yeah, it can be a little annoying. You can see how long it takes to get up here, so and if you fall and get hit by one of the legs, or maybe land on one of the legs after a certain amount of spot, like you'll die from the fall too, so there's that.
Just waiting to be safe. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Good timing. And shoot it and glide down. There is some water down here, but it is shallow close by, so like you do want to be careful from falling from such a height, even on story difficulty.
Yeah, you can tell them from experience, right, Greedy?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I've had some runs die to falling of all kinds. Yeah. There's quite a few spots where we do some long falls in the main game. One of them, there's a tall neck you have to override during the fight with Regala at the end of the main game, and been my nemesis for a long time. So you can get off, but a lot of times when I land, she dies. So, and that's like a 2.5 minute time loss. It's pretty wicked.
Anytime there's a long fall in this, somewhere Greedy's sweating.
Yeah, very much.
It's funny because it's true.
Even if it's not Greedy running it at the time, you just instinctively start sweating.
Oh my god. So many runs.
All right, so we have the chorus arm strat that I was talking about. I quickly changed my Valor Surge right before the checkpoint. This big... Oops. Actually, I mistimed that. This will still be good, though. I'll still be able to get 2 legs. So this Valor Surge that I use is going to be a big explosion. And we're going to take down 2 at once. There we go. They're both on fire. So,
nice.
Yeah, the sticky bomb was meant to take out one on the other side, but it was just a little bit early there.
Which isn't too bad. still saving 20 seconds in general, roughly.
One left.
I was still amazed by the spectacle of this whole fight, just like...
Oh, yeah.
Finally getting to fight a horse, yeah.
What are they gonna do in the next horizon to top this?
I'm rooting for Nemesis and Horus because I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see if they build like some improved version of it or something like that. If it, because they definitely introduced some new style of printing and all that right at the end of the last game, and or the end of the main game, I should say. So it'll be interesting to see the ideas they have. So finishing off the 4 arms and then kind of the main center part there with a few shots. Then we head underwater to head inside.
Yeah, and we have one more new out of bounds to show you too, right here at the end of the run.
There's not much road left.
Yeah, we're coming up right to
this
the
one,
end.
This one's pretty recently found too by you.
Yeah, I found
right?
this last month, and it's it doesn't save a lot of time, but it is really cool to show off, I'd say. But if you do it perfectly, maybe it saves like 5 seconds. But over the past year, we found out that you can glitch, go out of bounds a lot easier when you're out of water. So that led to me experimenting around here. So there's a way that you can just get out by dodging out.
Oh!
Right there, yep. Just do that, apparently.
Okay.
So we're just gonna fly out here, and the Horus is gone. It's just a black box in the sky. It's like the...
It's less intimidating right now.
Yeah. So we're just gonna fly past everything, and we're gonna go up here. We need to spawn a voice line here.
Up to the processing board.
And we'll get a checkpoint after that voice line goes down, but then we're gonna try and get a second inbounds thing. This is kind of precise here. We're gonna try to wiggle into the vent. Pretty hard, but...
Come on, Aloy, you can do it.
Almost.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, we did it. Let's go.
That actually worked really well. I think that actually
That was
saved time.
great.
That was awesome.
That's the fastest I've seen it work. That's
I think
cool.
that's the first time I've actually really, like in a full-length run, done it perfectly.
Wow.
Nice.
So kind of busting up the shield here.
And I gotta be really quick there. There we go. If you miss any one of those, you have like 40 seconds of extra dialogue you have to sit through, so.
Right. And you can use the Spectre Gauntlet here as well to hit all of them by using the Designator. It's part of the Railgun an amendment, I guess, that you get to the Spectre Gauntlet as part of the Burning Shores. It works really well against Eric as well when you fight him in the Hades lab. You can take out several of the red rings at a time using that, so it's a strat that we use in the main game as well.
Yeah, it's one of those where after the DLC came out, it helped improve a bit of the main game.
And I'm sending you some data.
And that fight with Eric is pretty long. You can save yourself about 45 seconds using that strat, so it's pretty cool.
I'll keep you posted on my progress.
Gotta wait for silence to end, and then we can talk. Then we go and just needed to talk to Seika to finish the run.
Yeah. Time ends when he talks to Seika.
With Laundra gone, I could poke around the burning shores for a bit. Or I could head for Fleet's End and get back with
Aloy, I need you to stop talking. Thank you. Can't whistle if you're talking.
Aloy, please.
Please.
Just whistle. Just whistle. It's a pretty good runtime. Over 53. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
And
time.
Nice. GG's.
Must feel pretty good.
Thank you.
Got your sister back, your people.
Great run. Absolutely.
Super
Next for the
cool.
woman of the hour.
Really fun run. It's been Yeah.
We got the double water wing mount too. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I was there again.
Yeah, that's something that's been showing up recently that I've never really seen before, where it'll spawn 2 sun wings when you after you defeat Londra and you spawn on that beach. It'll just have two sun wings there that you can both mount. Though my favorite sun wing got duplicated.
You're not
I wonder if that's because you call it in the out of bounds at the end there.
see home again.
I wonder if that has something to do with
That
Seika
has
being
to be
on
it.
one. Seika being on one and you being on one. I hadn't thought about that till just now. Anyway,
Interesting.
going to school here, folks. Anyhow, great run, Beta. Absolutely. Well
Yeah, that
done.
was amazing.
Thank you.
Shout outs from both of you, and then where can they find you on this wonderful internet? And if there's again, talk about Discord server, go for it.
Yeah, so we have Horizon Speedrunning Discord. We do all things over there. Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, doing the Lego Horizon game. We'll have talks of that there. And also Zero Dawn Remastered, which got announced today. So there's going to be a lot of discussion going on over there. And we even have...
Get your $10 out, people.
Sorry, go ahead, Greedy.
Oh, get your $10 out, people.
Yeah,
Yeah, for the remaster.
only costs $10 to upgrade, so can't say no to that. But yeah, thank you everyone to the community. Just being there every day, being hyped up for runs and for Horizon in general.
Yeah.
And we're gonna kiss Seika, because how else would you end the run?
I think I know how to handle it.
No kid.
Anything you want to add, Greedy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess, well, you can find me at Greedy Oka on Twitch and YouTube. Like B-Dud said, we've got a great community. Shout out to them. Lots of them in chat right now. You know, always trying to help and like learn. There's a lot of information floating around our community about every little bit of this game, every bit of the map. Like B-Dud said, we do all kinds of stuff. We've got bingo going on. We actually have a Forbidden West bingo finals. Will be on our Horizon Speedrun channel this weekend. Myself and Ari Doc will be going for third place, and B-Dud will actually be up against Outcare TV for the finals. So we've had a few months over the summer of bingo that's culminating this weekend. But it's been fantastic, the community kind of rallying around that as well. Like I said earlier, if you want to learn the New Game Plus story run or Ultra Hard run, the main game, we do have some video tutorials about that. Otherwise, come on over to the Horizon Speedrun Discord, where we have all kinds of strats and discussions and, fans and great stuff. And just, shout out to B-Dud for, pushing the categories, and he keeps me at my best as far as, doing these runs, and we do love to watch him do these. He's one of the best. So.
Yeah, and thank you, Greedy, because you also pushed me to be the best.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And thank you also, Greedy, for the commentary today. You explained everything really well.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's on you and all of you folks who do the glitch hunting. These runs wouldn't be what it was without you guys. I just, I'm a good copycat. It's fun.
Nah, Greedy here is like our main community man, pretty much. I see
love
him
it here.
that
Folks
way,
are,
at least.
Yeah, I do love it here. The folks are great.
I'd say big GGs to both of you, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing run. So cool to see everything. And again, GG's and thanks to everybody that's been on today's show. It's been so much fun. For those of you that might have missed either the Pokemon speedrunning special before this or any part of Express Lane, do not worry, because stay tuned. We're going to just replay both shows, let's see, right after this. But come back tomorrow for some more live content on Hotfix. We're going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern with Challenger approaching. And then after that, we go to Speedruns from the Crypt. So again, I'm Oscar424, and I'll see you next time on Express.